Check for me when we are live. Okay, let's see. Ok, siamo a posto. Ok, let's see. Yeah, I'm live, so that's good. Okay, so let's see who is here. Hello, Priscilla. Hello.
Hi, Anita. It's actually Roslyn. I'm about to rename.
Really? Okay, perfect. Okay. Hi guys, so if you're joining us on YouTube, hello, welcome. And then if you're joining us here as well in the meeting room, you don't need to go through the waiting room. It's open, so you can just join us. Those joining us from YouTube, hello, everyone. Okay, your questions here. Okay, so pin, perfect. So anyone that is joining us, you can, if you have questions, you can just leave the questions directly on YouTube as well. So welcome, Rosaline. I'm sure within 2 minutes, others will also start joining. So let's
Thank
see.
you.
Rosaline, where are you joining us from?
Accra, Ghana.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Currently, do you have an admission? Are you coming to, or are you just now starting the entire
Yes,
journey?
I yes, I do have admission with University of Palermo. So I'm looking forward to get the ESU Palermo scholarship.
Scholarship. Okay. That's good to know. Congratulations on your
Thank
admission.
you.
We hope today you're going to get value from all of the people that we've invited to answer your questions. Okay, I can see that Aaron has joined as well. Aaron, can you tell us where you're joining from? And if you're watching us on YouTube as well, you can tell us where you're joining us from so that we can start interacting. We're going to start this session right on time. Let's see. Aaron, can you hear me? Please, can you tell us where you're
Yes, I
joining?
can hear you.
Okay. Good evening. Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Zambia.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining us. Do you already have an admission?
Working on getting admission.
Oh, okay. So that means you'll be coming in for the next intake.
I'm hoping to come in for the September, October intake.
Okay. And then you're now looking at applying What program do you intend to study?
Computer science,
Hmm.
masters.
Oh, okay. But then in July, it's quite late of a time. But then, yeah, I just hoping the best for you out of your admissions, your applications, and everything.
The thing is, I'm just remaining with some interviews and tests for different universities that I've applied to. That's what I mean by
Oh,
getting
okay.
ready for admission.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, wait. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, then that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, thank you for joining us. I hope you get value. You're definitely going to get value from today's session. So we're going to start. Let me see those who are joined online. Let me see what's okay. We have so many people here. Yeah, let's see. With so many questions already. Okay, that's a lot. You guys are already leaving questions. Today is going to be so much fun, but let's go. I'm going to start by giving you a brief on the regional scholarships in Italy so that you have a fair idea. Then we're going to open the floor. We are hoping the session will run within time. So after the introduction, for you to get a brief understanding on regional scholarships in Italy, then we're going to open the floor to you. Okay, we were going to open it. You're going to come on, ask your questions. It's going to be 2+ hours. Okay, so you ask your questions, and then that of professionals on board will answer the questions. I can see you guys are now joining. I would like to introduce those who will be, our guests for today. But then I want a couple of you to keep joining, and then later on we will introduce them and then they'll start taking your questions and everything. But let me start by giving you a brief. You're going to start right away by giving you a brief on all that you need to know about the regional scholarships. I can see that of Ryan has joined us, that of Leah as well. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for joining on time. Leah, where are you joining us from? Ryan, where are you joining us from?
From Italy.
You're from Italy?
Yes. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Okay. Okay. That's interesting to know. So do you intend to study this year? What university are you looking at studying? That's Leah.
Yeah, so basically I'm here for my cousin. So I wanted to ask questions for my cousin.
Your cousin. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Then nice to have you. We also have Ryan. Ryan, you can introduce yourself. Then we go ahead with the session. I have a couple of introductions on YouTube as well. And those who have already started sending in their questions. So Ryan, can you tell us where you're joining us from? Thank you for joining early.
Hello, I'm Raihan. I'm joining from
Rahan.
yes, H within H. Yeah, I'm joining from
Okay.
Casino. I'm a student at University of Casino. I actually watched
Oh,
one of your videos specifically on
okay.
YouTube. That's I got interested.
Okay.
Knowing more about
Okay.
things from you.
Okay. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for joining so early, 4 minutes in. You guys are already here. Rosaline, Aaron, Deborah, and Ryan. Thank you for joining. But we are going to right away go into all that you need to know about regional scholarship. Those who are also leaving their introductions and their questions on YouTube. Thank you guys for the introductions. But for that of questions, we are going to start answering them later on. Okay. So our guest will be answering your questions. We're going to dedicate over 2 hours to that to answer all your questions. Usually all our webinars, we get people who have more questions, but then we don't have enough time. So today we dedicated time. We're going to be here to answer all the questions that you have. We're going to try as much as possible to answer everything. So we're going to start right away so that we have enough time to, answer your questions. If you are here or you're watching online, definitely you at some point you have either gotten an admission or you are awaiting admission from an Italian university, and you're looking at, okay, how do I get funding for my studies in Italy? Obviously, in this season, the MIT period, the IYT period is already over. The university scholarship period is already over because that is usually during the application period. But then now, this season, what we have open, and those that will be opening in the coming weeks, are the regional scholarships, okay? And this is major in Italy. You can see that of the map of Italy, you can see the regions. There are regional scholarships in every region in Italy. Okay, so, and the good thing about it is it's open for both national students and international students. And sincerely, most times, a number of international students actually do get the scholarship. And I'm going to explain that further in the conversation. But then what are regional scholarships in Italy? Okay, so let's go. These are fully funded scholarships given on the basis of need and merit to both local and international students. These are financed by the various regional scholarships and various regional governments, the Ministry of University and Research, and then by the European Union. Okay, so the next generation EU. Now, it's not quite enough to know that, okay, there are regional scholarships in Italy, but you need to know what are the various regional scholarships in Italy. Someone is like, okay, I got admission in this particular university, but then what regional scholarship am I supposed to apply for? So here I've compiled almost all the regional scholarships in Italy for you. If you're going to the Lazio region, that is, you're applying to universities such as Sapienza, that of Roma Tre, Tor Vergata, University of Cassino, Luis, and several others, you will be applying for that of the Lazio Disco Scholarship. Okay, so that's the scholarship that you will be applying for. If you're coming to the Emilia-Romagna region, probably you might have applied to the University of Bologna, the University of Parma, the University of Ferrara, the University of Modena, and Reggio Emilia. You will be applying for that of the Ergo Scholarship. Okay. If you're going to that of the Marche region, probably you have applied or you've gotten admission to the University of Camerino, University of Macerata, University of Ancona, and others. The regional scholarship that you will be applying for is that of Edis Marche. Why should you know the regional scholarship that you'll be applying for? This is very important because if an example you're going to apply, if an example you've gotten admission to the Sapienza University of Rome, like it doesn't make sense for you to focus on the Ergo scholarship. Ergo is for Emilia-Romagna, and then you are going to the Lazio region. So you're supposed to focus on the regional scholarship in the region that the university you've gotten admission to is located in, so that you're going to look at the requirements and everything and start preparing ahead of time, so that you have focus on the right thing, and then you're able to prepare ahead of time. That is why it's very important for you to know which regional scholarship that you'll be applying for. That is why I've compiled a list. There are some students, they are like, I'm going to this region, I'm not quite sure which regional scholarship I'm supposed to apply for and everything. That information cannot be easily found on the internet. Apart from the big regional scholarships that we know in Italy, some regional scholarships, you cannot find information easily online, okay? That is why I've compiled a list for you guys. Now, if you're going to that of Toscana, the Tuscany region, where we have the University of Siena, the University of Florence, the University of Pisa, you will be applying for that of DSU Tuscany, okay? Take note, these regional scholarships are not only for universities. I've indicated universities here, but then they are also for AFAM institutions, okay? So not necessarily just you going to study at a university, but then AFAMs located in these regions as well, in the Lazio region, Emilia-Romagna, Marche, Tuscany. Those students can also apply for the regional scholarship, okay? So if you're watching and probably you'll be studying moda, you'll be studying fashion in an AFAM institution, don't be confused. You're like, oh, are we not featured? No. If your institution is in a particular region, just cross-check and find out whether it's featured on the scholarship or not. Okay, so just locate the region where your AFAM institution is located in, and then basically go check that of the call for applications to know what you need to prepare and everything. One thing that I also have to put there, unlike the system that we are used to in Africa, for here, regional scholarships are open to both the national and international students. And then one thing that you also should take note of is, I've seen students, they're like, oh, I'm going to a private university. I'm going to study at Unicamelus, okay? I'm going to study at Unicamelus. I'm going to study at Louis. Like, is this university featured on the regional scholarship? What you should understand is here, as long as let's say the university is located in the region, and then they meet the requirements to be featured on the regional scholarship, they're going to be featured on the scholarship, okay? So that's what you should take note of. All that you need to know to be quite sure whether your university is featured on the scholarship or not is to check the call for applications, okay? So don't think, oh, because it's a private university, I don't need to cross-check. Just cross-check, because at this point in the Lazio region, even that of Unicamelus, and we know it's a non-state university, Unicamelus is featured, Louis is featured on that of the Lazio Disco Scholarship. So just cross-check the call for applications to have all the information that you need to know. Now, when we go to the Veneto region, where we are going to universities such as the University of Padova, the University of Verona, Ca' Foscari University of Venezia. Now, you can see here, I've written that of ESSU Veneto, but the ESSU Veneto is rather for that of those going to the AFAM institutions in the Veneto region. For the Veneto region, each and every university, they manage their own scholarship. So if you go to Padova, they have their own regional scholarship that you have to apply for, and then its own requirements. If you're going to the University of Verona, please check their own university, their own regional scholarship. So that means that the university manages its own regional scholarship. Unlike if you come to here in Emilia Romagna, where there's ERGO, and ERGO manages the regional scholarship for all the universities. And then the AFAMs in the Emilia Romagna region for Veneto, and then other regions that I'm going to talk about, the individual universities, they manage their own regional scholarship. Okay, so that's what you should take note of. If you're going to Piemonte, where you're going to the University of Torino, Politecnico of Torino, and others, you will be applying for Edisu Piemonte. Okay, you'll be applying for Edisu Piemonte. If you're going to Lombardia, Ishmael, can you mute yourself? Please mute yourself, okay, so that you don't disrupt the webinar. If you're going to the Lombardia region, Lombardia as well is one of the regions where, like, almost all the universities, they manage their own regional scholarships. So University of Milan, it has its own regional scholarship that you have to check the call for application to understand the requirements. It includes that of the University of Milan, Politecnico of Milan. We have that of Milan Bicocca. You also have that of Bergamo, and then other universities in Lombardia. So you are just supposed to check the requirements of their own specific regional scholarship, but then is that of the Diritto allo Studio Universitario, that is just the regional scholarship. Then, if you're going to Sicily, okay, in Sicilia, we have that of the University of Palermo, that of the University of Messina, we have the University of Catania, and the others. Take note, these universities, they manage their own regional scholarships, but then the regional scholarship is that of ESSU. So we have ESSU Palermo, which is currently open. We have ESSU Messina, we have ESSU Catania. So each and every university, and then their own scholarship, but then they all have that of the ESSU attached to it. So ESSU Palermo, ESSU Messina, ESSU Catania. So that is what you should take note of. Someone mentioned that she will be applying for ESSU Palermo. That's why she's here. So she's going to that of Sicily. Okay. Now, when we go to that of Liguria, where we have the University of Genova, we have that of the Alisio Scholarship. Okay. If you go to Sardinia, we have that of the University of Sassari, we have the University of Cagliari, and there we have that of ESSU. So they also have their own scholarship that they manage. So we have ESSU, Sassari, and then that of Cagliari as well. When you go to Campania, we have the University of Salerno, we have that of Federico II, like, yeah, University of Naples or Napoli. We have that of the Partenope University of Naples or Napoli as well. There we have Addissu Campania. Addissu Campania, it's managed by one regional body, that is it's managed by the Addissu Campania regional agency. So that region, they have one regional body. The universities do not manage their own regional scholarships. If you go to Puglia, where we have the University of Salento, we have that of the Politecnico di Bari, we have the University of Lum, we have the University of Aldo Moro, we have the University of Foggia. There we have Addissu Puglia. Okay, we have Addissu Puglia. So you can see how the various regions have different scholarships, and then they have different names. Now, sorry for the noise. Now, when you go to Umbria, where we have an example, the University of Perugia, there we have Addissu Umbria. If you go to Abruzzo, we have the University of L'Aquila. We have that of Addissu L'Aquila. Addissu L'Aquila. So these are some of the regional scholarships that are here in Italy. So you just have to go back to locate which university you're going to, or which AFAM institution that you're going to, and what particular regional scholarship is available in that region based on what I've mentioned so far. So based on what I've mentioned so far, you can tell me in the comments, if you're watching from YouTube, if you know which regional scholarship you'll be applying for. You need to have a fair idea of this, so that when you're asking your question, you're not now going to ask, I'm going to this region, I'm not quite sure which regional scholarship I'll be applying for. It's best you're coming on board to ask your question with an idea of where you're going to. So I think I'll be applying for that of Addissu Umbria. So what do I need to prepare, so that way it can, begin the process for the question and answers. Now, there are various websites that you need to take note of. Obviously, if you're going to the Lazio region, you have to go to Lazio-Disco, the website of Lazio-Disco, Ergo, that of Ergo. They have different websites that you have to go to get to know more about the call for applications, the requirements, the deadlines, and everything. These specific informations, you can find them in the call for applications, okay? So that is what you need to take note of. So if you'll be applying for a particular regional scholarship, go onto their website, check their call for applications. If you'll be going to a region where the call for applications is not yet open, because others will be opening in the coming weeks and even in August. Okay, so if it's not yet open, you just have to check last year's call to have a fair idea of the requirements, to have a fair idea of the deadlines, what documents are required to be submitted and everything, okay? Then let's talk about who can apply for the regional scholarships. So those going for bachelor's, master's, and PhD students, and then also students with low family income. Take note, the regional scholarships, their merit, their requirements that you need to have, both merit and economic. When you're applying during first year, what they usually focus on at the beginning is that of your family's economic condition. Okay, but then getting to the end of the first year, for you to actually be able to renew the scholarship and then actually to get the remaining 50% of the scholarship money for the first year, they're going to look at merit. Because what does the regional scholarship, what do they operate on? They operate on the diritto allo studio universitario. So like basically everyone deserves access to higher education. So if they are giving you that opportunity, you need to be able to make the merit. So if you don't get the merit, this is something that people don't put out there a lot. If you don't get the merit requirements to renew the scholarship, you're going to lose the scholarship, okay? If you don't get the merit requirements to renew the scholarship, you're going to lose the scholarship. Second, usually the deadline to get the merit requirements is in August. They're going to extend it to November. Within that period, you're supposed to get the merit requirement. Even if you lose the opportunity to reapply for the scholarship for the second year or whichever year you'll be in, you will need to be able to get the required merits to keep the 50% of the scholarship money that have already been given to you. You don't find this information out there. Many people skip this when they're reading the call for applications. But then since we are here, I'm putting it out there. For you to be able to retain the 50% of the money that has already been paid to you, you will need to meet the merit requirements. Even if you're not able to meet the merit requirement by August, to renew the scholarship, they're going to give you from August to that of November to meet the merit requirements to be able to keep the 50% that have already been given to you. Otherwise, you may have to pay back the money. Okay, so I put it out there. You need to know this is very, very important. You may have to pay back the money that has been given to you, because if you are being given a possibility to study, then you should be able to make the merit requirement to continually be on the scholarship. So that is out there. Yeah. Then to note, as an applicant, you cannot, I've seen people, they are like, oh, I'm on another scholarship. Can I gain a regional scholarship as well to combine? You cannot hold other scholarships that are not compatible with the regional scholarship. Why am I saying not compatible? There are some form of scholarship, not the major ones that we know, but then some level of assistance and everything that are accepted. Especially if you go to that of the Tuscany region, I've seen some of a clause in the regional scholarship where you can combine the regional scholarship with that of the university scholarship. For example, the University of Siena, I've seen a clause on their university scholarship where they've indicated that you can combine it with that of the DSU Toscana. Okay, so it just depends where you're going to and what clause is applicable for that particular region and for that particular scholarship. But then it's up to you to read the call to find out. But in most situations, you cannot combine the regional scholarship with other scholarships in Italy, other major scholarships in Italy. You should not be enrolled in, a part-time program for some regions. For some regions, if you're a part-time student, you may not be able to apply for the scholarship. So that is, you have to check from the call. You should not be enrolled as a repeating student, okay? You should not hold degrees obtained in Italy in programs of the same or higher level to which that you're applying for the scholarship. So the right to get access to higher education. So it's like, if this is your first time studying bachelor's, your first time studying master's, your first time pursuing that of a PhD, yes, you meet the requirements or the condition to be supported. But then if this is the second time, meaning that you've already completed a bachelor's, you've completed a master's, you've completed a PhD, and then you're going for it, usually it does not meet the requirements around the regional scholarship. Why am I saying that? Because it's to give access to someone who have not achieved that level of education. But then we are here in a closed place, and I'm going to put it out there. I know many international students who are doing second masters, they're doing a third bachelor's, and then they're on the regional scholarships because they did not declare that they already hold previous qualifications. Okay, so I'm putting it out there. It doesn't mean that there are people that are not doing their second, maybe bachelor's or master's on the regional scholarship, even though that is not something that is supported by the regional agency. Okay, so take note of that. Benefits of the DSU, it's valid for 1 academic year, so you have to apply to renew. It covers full or partial tuition depending on your family's economic condition. That it covers accommodation if you do get accommodation with the regional agency. Other than that, if you don't get the accommodation with them, then you get your own accommodation and you bring to them that of your contract, and then they're going to give you the money stipulated for accommodation. What does it mean? If you're going to get accommodation of, let's say, 600 euros a month, and then it's only 200 or 300 euros that is stipulated for a month to pay accommodation, it is the 300 that's going to be given to you. You'll have to cover the difference. It covers feeding 1 or 2 daily meals, ECAVES stipends. Amounts depend on your family's EZ. We're going to talk about the EZ document later on. I have the professional here that will be handling that because I've seen so many questions from international students on this particular document. So he will be handling the question around that. Then that of ECAVES semester abroad. Okay, those who go for Erasmus and everything. So that is also covered in the regional scholarship. What are the documents needed to apply? You need the educational documents or details, your passports and personal details, which you would, by the time you're applying, you would have already used it in applying for the admission to the university. Okay, so then the main documents that are actually needed are the family income certificate, the property certificate, the family composition certificate, bank statement, all supporting documents like rental agreements, divorce certificate, etc. Some students will be like, my parents are divorced. Okay, my parents are dead. In situations where you make declarations like that, you need to add additional certificates to the claims that you're making. Okay, and then that of the EZ document, which is the main document needed for the scholarship. But then as an international student, you will need that of this document that I've mentioned, the family composition document, and all the others, for them to be able to calculate that of the EZ for that you use for the scholarship application. Those within Italy, if you're joining and you're here within Italy, you cannot use that of the EZ Ordinario to apply for the scholarship. You're going to need the EZ dedicated for the regional scholarship. Okay, so that is what you should know. You just have to go to the CAF office, and then we have a CAF officer here that will be explaining that. But then if you already have your ordinary EZ, you just have to go to them, and then they are going to do that of the EZ for the prestazioni agevolate per il diritto allo studio universitario. That is what you're going to use. That is the valid EZ that you can use to apply for the regional scholarship. For an international student, you need that of the parified version of this of the document, which is the EZ UP. Okay. So, what is the EZ and everything? I think when Simpson comes on board, he's going to walk us through what the EZ is and everything, since he's the professional and then he's here. But then I just already indicated what the EZ document is and everything. But in Simpson, at this point, you can come on board. The floor is open. If you have questions and everything, you can, start putting them in the comments in the chat. Those on YouTube as well. Yes, I'll be reading those questions as well. But then Simpson, please, are you here?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, okay, perfect. So everyone, please, I would like to invite on to the floor. We have Simpson here, is that of a professional, okay, a CAF professional. So he's going to come on board. If you have questions about the EZ document, about regional scholarships in Italy and everything, this is his field, okay? So he's going to answer your questions and everything. So for this time, we're going to open the floor for questions around, the regional scholarships, questions around the EZ document, how to get it, where to get and everything. That is what you're going to do at this time. So I'm going to open the floor for 40 minutes for questions related to, let's say, like about an hour for questions related to the EZ regional scholarship generally in Italy. So you do that. Please, if you have questions about the Italy study visa and everything, it's going to be the second session. Okay, it's still within the webinar, but then we'll start talking about that later, and then you come on board and then you ask that particular question. Okay, so let's not mix it up. If you're coming on the floor to ask question, it should be for the regional scholarship at this point. Okay, so Simpson, the floor is yours. You can come and share everything that you want to share about the regional scholarship, about the EZ document, the calculation, what they need to have as international students, and then those who are joining us who may also be in Italy, you can also tell them what they need to know. But then yes, that is it for me. I'm going to leave you to come onto the floor. I'll also be reading questions that others have so that you can answer.
Okay.
But then yeah,
All right.
that is it. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you, Anita, for the opportunity to be here. So my name is Simpson, and I'm based in Cassino, Italy, where we have our head office of CAFA Patronato. So basically, there's this conception about ISE, and ISE is a document used in Italy to measure the standards of living, or to measure the standards of living or the income of a certain household in a family. And this document is used probably if there are social benefits which citizens want to apply for. This is the main document which the government or the agency which is providing that opportunity always request for citizens to have in order to evaluate their situations, their income, their savings, their investments, and in little words, their household income and composition and size. So basically, it's called ISA, and we have different types of ISA. We have the ISE Universitario, which that is what's used to apply for most scholarships, but that is for those students who are resident in Italy, Italian students and Italian residents, but not for international students. So those who are resident in Italy definitely have to apply for the ISE Universitario within the deadline of the call. So based on the scholarship, for example, for the Lazio Disco, before the 22nd of July, all students must apply for all Italian students or Italian residents must apply for the ISE Universitario, or you get to lose the scholarship. Yeah. And the other the normal ISE we have in Italy is called the ISE Ordinario, whereby most Italian citizens apply for it, to apply for universities, also to get some social benefits from the comune or from the government as a whole, and everything. But when it comes to international students, they have what you call the ISE UP, which is ISE Universitario Parificato, which is another form of ISE. Since international students are not resident in Italy, the calculation is based on your family income you bring from your country. So students are advised to provide this document to the CAF office whenever they can. And they look at the income, in Italy, they look at the income based 2 years on the previous 2 years. So since we're in 2026, you have to declare your income or your family income of 2024 in order to apply for the scholarship. And it goes forward. For next year, you're gonna have to declare your income for 2025. How do you get the ISE Parificato? Once you've legalized and translated your document back in your home country, it has to be legalized and translated in Italian so that the authorities over here are able to understand the document and that. But we have some countries whereby they have some civil wars or political instability. So with those countries, they are given the authority to do it at the embassies found here in Italy. So you do the document at the Italy, and at times you will also have to go to the prefettura to legalize the same document before taking it to the CAF office. Once you have this document, first family income, which states your income your family got in 2024, and also the family composition, how many of you guys on your income, if you guys have any assets, if you guys have any properties, or also it has to be included in that document. Then you present it to the CAF office. Most CAF offices, you need to take some appointments so that they work on those documents and produce you the ISE Parificato. Talking about the agencies, when it comes to Lazio, the Lazio region again, you have to go to conventional CAF offices, because not all CAF offices in the Lazio region are allowed to produce that document for the sake of the scholarship. For example, if CAF A is in the convention and you go produce your own ISA at CAF B, you're gonna be excluded from the scholarship. So it's very important you always go to the Latin Disco call or to the various regional calls to verify that you're applying from the right offices. Whereas from other offices, you just have to book your appointment, go to the CAF office, present this document as well as your passport and your visa. Some CAF offices might take a day, some might do it immediately, depending on that. What I always advise students is that once that document has been produced for you, you need to make sure the information on it are aligned with the document you handed over to them and the information you applied the scholarship when you are applying the scholarship as well. Because if there's discrepancy in this information, it might cause a delay in you receiving your payments, or you might be excluded from the scholarship. We've had many instances whereby student scholarship applications were filled with one information and it did not reflect that on the ISE Parificato. And also, before many years ago, when you do the ISE Parificato, you had to take it to the regional scholarship office to present it. However, now everything is done through an automatic system whereby the regional scholarship board takes that information directly from IMSS database. So I think that's a little bit more of what consists of the ESET up. If anyone has any specific question about that, then I could elaborate more on it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I have some questions coming in, but then I want to show you guys how the document looks like, okay? And then where you can possibly get the documents in your home country. So if you are coming from Ghana, you can get that of the composition of your family, your family's income and everything. You can get it from that of your local assembly. Okay, so you can show them the sample. Obviously, you know that of your family's income for the required year. So you have to have that prepared, like a sample of what your family's actual situation is as at the year they are requiring, and then you take it to them. Then you're going to do the declaration on their letterhead. Take note, don't do affidavit. It's not accepted. Don't do an affidavit. Don't make the declaration yourself. It should come from the approved of the authority in your home country. So once you get that of the document, then you're going to go through that to ensure that you authenticate it, you translate it. Then you're going to take it to the Italian embassy for the legalization if you're bringing it from your home country. If you're coming from Nigeria, you can get it from your local government, okay? You can get it from your local government authority. If you're coming from Uganda, you can get it from also, I'm going to say something like your local government, depending on where you are, you live and everything. You can go there and show the document to the authorities. Obviously, there are previous students that have gotten the document. So once they see the sample, maybe if you say the document, they might not know, but then when you show them the sample, they will have an idea and then they will know how to help you. Whichever way, you always have to check the call for applications to know. You always have to check the call for applications to know where to get the document. Because if you bring a declaration made by yourself, an affidavit, they will exclude you from the scholarship. They're not going to accept it. Now, let me show you how the document, I'm just going to show you the sample that came, the sample that was given by Lazudisco, okay, that was given. You can see how it looks like. This is that of the schema for those who are doing the dichiarazione consolare. But then obviously those coming from other, let's say, other regions where they don't have wars or anything like that, the documents should one way or the other look like this. Okay, so it is coming from the authority itself, the one who is making the declaration. So it should come from them, and then you can see basically how it looks like. So this is the part, this is the part where the declaration on your family's composition. So the surname, the first name, the date of birth, that of how you are related, you as the candidate, how you're related to the person, and then that of the income for the year. Now, Simpson made mention of something he made mention of they want you to make a declaration of 2 years prior. However, take note, depending on whichever region that you're going to, though most regions operate like this, depending on whichever region that you're going to, and then the specific requirement on that particular declaration. Here in Emilia-Romagna, they require students to declare for the year 2025. Okay, so currently the call for application that is open, they require international students to declare for the year 2025, while those of us living within Italy, we are declaring for 2024. So you just need to understand and do not confuse that. Okay, so that is what you need to take note of. Once you make the first part, the composition of your family, then you're going to state, you can see they're asking for 2024. So the amount that was gotten, the total income of each and every adult member, the total income of each and every adult member in your family unit. Okay, so you're going to indicate that here. Please do not use the exchange rate, the current exchange rate. Go to the Lazudisco website. There is the exchange rate from the Bank of Italia. That is what you're supposed to use for the exchange for the year 2024. So if an example, your family made that of the total income for all adult members in your family for the year 2024 is, let's say, 200,000 Ghana cedis or 20,000 Ghana cedis, do not use the current rate. Go to the exchange rate that was given by Lazudisco and use it to make that of the conversion. Please take note of this, very, very important. Then all the others. So if you guys own properties and assets, you are going to state the value of the properties. Okay, so if you own properties, the value of the properties must be stated at this section. You can see the property that you own as at the year 2024. You have to state it here. Then if you own any other thing, maybe you have investments and everything, the value of it, you also have to declare it. Take note, I mentioned earlier, if there's an instance where you guys are living in your family home, you don't own the property, but then you are renting, you're also supposed to state that of the year rent. So don't tell me we are in an apartment, but then we don't have a house contract and all of that, because when you're making a declaration in Italy, it's always good that you have a supporting document. So that is it. You declare the amounts that you pay and then that of the square meters of the house that you guys live in. So these are some of the things. You can see the sample, even though it's in Italian, but then this the sample that can guide you on how to go about the declaration and everything. So I just wanted to show that before I open the floor to each and everyone that have the questions that we have for Simpson. So thank you guys. Let's start with the questions as at this point. Okay, so I have questions here. I'm going to start here, then I'm going to go to YouTube. I have so many questions on YouTube as well. Okay, right. Hello, can you take us briefly on there? Okay, Gideon, you're asking, hello, can you take us also briefly on the requirements? Okay, what specific requirements are you talking about? If you are here, you can raise your hand and ask. If you also want to ask questions directly, please just raise your hand and then I'm going to open the floor so that you come and ask your question. Okay, then Blessing is saying, a student has to be in Italy before they can apply for regional scholarship. No, you don't have to be in Italy to apply for the regional scholarship. It's currently open, so you don't have to be in Italy to apply. Just that you need to get the documents by the deadline stated by the regional agency. Okay, so that's the important thing. Okay, so I'm Ishmael Dana from Ghana, and I'm admitted to University of Bologna. I'm applying for a good scholarship, and there's a part I'm confused a bit. This is the Tassa Gevolati section. Okay, she did where she choose no at where she was asked if she's coming from a particularly poor or not. Okay, I'd like to know, ask Ghana, okay, I might yes at the section or go with no like she did. Okay, one thing you need to understand is there is a document that was sent by the University of Bologna to students. Okay, you have to go to your university email to find that document. If not, even in the call for applications, you can get a bit more information about this. This OECD countries, you will need to know, you have to specifically find out for yourself and know whether you want to choose yes or no, because there is a something you have to know on that particular section. If you choose, because the University of Bologna has given the opportunity for international students to like for their tuition fee to be fixed. So you pay the fixed tuition fee without you having to submit the easier document and everything. But then you have to choose that at the application stage as the regional scholarship is open now. If you choose that you bring that of the income documents and then you say no, take note at the end of the day, if you happen not to get the income document within the stipulated time, you have to pay the maximum tuition fee. So that is one thing that you have to take note of. So whether yes or no, I'm not going to tell you on this call to choose yes or no. I explained why I chose no in the video guide. Okay, so if you specifically want to go with yes, then you need to understand what the OECD country is about. And then the full document was sent by the University of Bologna. You can find it on the website. It's in your email as well, your student's email. So go there, read more about it, and then know whether to choose yes or no. Okay, so for that is what I'm going to indicate here. Then we have Algan, who is asking bachelor's degree in general medicine and surgery from Somalia. I'm interested in pursuing, okay, okay. I would like to ask whether I am eligible to apply for an end specialization program as an, if I'm eligible, could you please explain the application process? Okay, Algan, thank you for joining. Thank you for asking your question. But then, unfortunately, this section, we are talking about regional scholarships in Italy. And then we're also talking about the Italy study visa. So it's not specifically the point where we are talking about university applications and everything. So we might not necessarily be able to, this particular part is for regional scholarships. I'm going to focus on your part on whether there are any scholarships or financial support available for medical students. Okay, so I'm going to answer that part of your question. Yes, the regional scholarships that are currently open, as someone who will be applying for medicine, because we know that the intake for medical students is different. Okay, so you'll be writing the IMAT somewhere in September and everything, but then you can apply for the regional scholarship that is currently open. Just that, for international students, you can choose only one university for the IMAT exams. So you have to know which university you want to go with, and then based on that, apply to the regional scholarship, based on where the university is located. Okay, yes, so the regional scholarship is also available to support medical students throughout your studies, as long as you keep meeting the economic requirements and then that of the merit requirements to renew. So yes, you can. Okay, this question is for Emmanuel later in the session. Okay, Aston is asking, is it possible to share the sample template? What sample are you talking about? Okay, so this is for you, Simpson. To show my family's income, do I need to submit a bank statement for each family member, including myself? Also, how should I do that if my bank only provides monthly bank statements? They don't issue a single statement that summarizes the entire year's transaction.
Okay, so basically when we talk about family income of the last 2 years of last year, it means income which your family generated. It doesn't necessarily mean income you have in your bank account. Those are two separate things. So when they mean, did you work? Yes, I worked. How much did you earn from that job during that period of year? Or are you a business person? How much did you earn from that business during the year? And you have, based on what you earned, that's what you have to declare, not necessarily the amount of money you have in your bank account. So it says so necessarily you don't need to submit your bank statement or all your family's bank statement, but they are, I guess, based on your countries, there are declarations which you make through the tax agencies and so on and so forth. And also, how should I do that if my bank provides money? So yeah, basically that's it. You have to declare the income you earned that year, not necessarily what you have in your bank statement. Another question, Anita, can you get me? Another question says, my half brother is my sponsor. He's not in my nuclear family. So while preparing my family,
income that was gotten. Okay, you're saying something?
yeah,
Okay.
was that clear? Was that question got into the person who asked?
Milena, are you clear? Milena? Milena, are you here? Okay, so okay, let me see. Okay, yeah, he said thank you. Yeah, she said thank you. So thank you. Okay. So I'll come back to the questions again, but then I'm going to call someone who wants to ask questions. But I see here, please, we're in Nigeria. Okay, I've already addressed that. You have to go to the local government authority. You're going to get the sample there. Now there's something that you guys need to know. An example here in the Emilia-Romagna region, to an extent, it depends on your specific situation. We know in Nigeria, sometimes to an extent, even though you can get the document from your local authority, can be a bit difficult for you to get a legalization in Nigeria. So to some extent, sometimes EGO allows the student to come and get the document from the embassy here. Okay, so your local embassy here in Rome. But then I'm going to put it out here in this particular webinar. Please, if you're having difficulty, if you're from Nigeria, having difficulty in getting the required document, please send an email or open a ticket and send an email to them or open a ticket telling them, this is my specific issue. What do you think I should go? What do you think I should do about it? Okay, if they tell you you can get it from the local consulate here in Rome, then you go through that route. But don't take it from me and be like, okay, I can, no, just ask them. And then what they tell you is what you're going to do. If you're going to you're going to the Lazio region and you'll be applying for Lazio Disco, also open a ticket. Tell them I'm from Nigeria, I'm struggling to get the document and everything. What do I do? If they say get it from your local authority here in Rome, then you're going to email your consulate here in Rome. Other than that, when you get into the country, you're going to go there and make the declaration. What I've seen is some students also coming from Nigeria, they bring the sample of the document from their local authority. Okay, so they get the first sample of the document before they take it to the local authority here to get that of the legalization, and then for them to actually do the declaration on their letterhead. The moment you take the document out of the Nigerian territory and you bring it to Italy, after the consulate is done with the declaration on their letterhead, you're supposed to take it to the prefectura, just like Simpson mentioned. Okay, so I'm going to open the floor. Rosaline, come on board. The floor is all yours. Rosaline.
Hi, thank you. So my question is regarding the essay Perificato. So upon reading the ESU Palermo call, I saw that there is a deadline for uploading of the essay Perificato. So as an international student coming there, I want to know how I can upload it. Is it that when I get there, or I can do it whilst in Ghana? That's my question. Please, will you get me?
Okay, you're talking about where you can upload the document.
Yeah. So for the
Rosaline?
ESU Palermo, I'm not really sure about that. However, from most other regions, like I said before, you had to upload or you had to submit it to the various scholarship bodies. But within the recent years, some regions have changed it because now once you do the ESA up, they get it directly from IMSS database because IMSS is an entity that issues the ESA up here in Italy. So most of the times, most regions, that's how they get the ESA up. And the question is, I don't think you can get the ESA up still back in your country because most of the time they require you to be present in the office to present this documentation and declarations as well.
Okay. So follow up. My study is supposed to start in January, and the deadline I think is in September or October, and I want to be present in January. So how do I go about that too?
So, like I stated before, in rare cases which are not allowed, for instance, my office, we can get to provide that for students. However, it is necessary for the student to be in Italy because these are very sensitive informations which should not just be shared through social media, online, and all that. That's why they require the student to always be present in front of the person who does it to provide these informations while the document is being produced. So there can be a way for
Okay.
someone to do
Thank you
it for
very
you
much.
while you're still out of Italy. It's possible, one way or the other. However, it's always required the student should be present. So based on the situation, it can be maneuvered one way or the other. Is that clear?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, please.
Anita, we can't get you.
Rosalind, can you hear me? Yeah,
now.
Rosalind, I was saying that. Yeah, Rosalind,
Yes,
I
I
was
can hear
saying
you
that.
now.
Yeah, Rosalind, I was saying that if you didn't get anything, you can always ask for clarification. The floor is open entirely to, if you don't get anything, to ask and everything. I just opened a call for application for a Palermo. Okay, so the deadline that they've stipulated there, you just have to find out, even though you'll be coming in January, January is quite, late. Okay, so you have to find a way to send them an email because there is the email in the COF application that you can reach out to them. You can also open a ticket and let them know that, okay, this is my particular situation. How do I go about it and everything? And I'm sure they can guide you one way or the other. They also have the CAF offices that they've authorized to process that of the ESA and everything. You may, one way or the other, also have to contact the CAF office and let them know, this is my specific situation. Is it possible to send the documents for the calculations and everything? At best, I'm sure they can tell you to get that of the what's it called? The I've forgotten the name. You cannot use your normal email, okay? You cannot use you have to get a certified email. For them, one way or the other, for them to accept you sending documents to them, they might tell you, okay, get the certified email, and then you can send the documents to us for us to do the calculation and everything. But then it's entirely up to them to, make the decision. So I think you should email them, and then tell them your specific situation and the fact that you'll be coming in January, and then I'm sure they can, assist you one way or the other. Is that okay?
Okay.
Rosalind?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. You're most welcome. Okay, so I have next, Deborah. Okay, Deborah, the floor is yours. I'm going to go to YouTube. I have so many questions here, and then I'll be asking. So, Deborah, the floor is yours for now.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I wanted to ask our CAF officer. I am a resident here in Italy, and for the past 3 years, I've also been applying for Ergo. So my cousin is Ishmael, who is the international student. So even though Anita already said that the fixed tax, like she can't tell us exactly what we have to choose, but I realized that even if we say no, can we still get but because we think that we have all the documents available. Okay, we got the family composition, from the Labor Office, Labor Commission from Ghana, etc. So we want to go on the secured. So if we say no, usually the CAF, what do you like choose? If you will recommend that maybe we do it alone or we come to the CAF where you are to do it. Well,
I didn't get your question clearly.
Yeah, I got the question actually.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
The good thing for us coming to the Emilia-Romagna region, EDGO is really big. They do the calculation themselves. Once you put the information there, they're going to tell you your family is easy. So you don't have to actually need to go to a CAF for the calculation. Okay, if you're coming, I'm putting it out there, if you're coming to the Emilia-Romagna region, once you're an international student, if you put all of the information at the last page of the application, they're going to tell you this is the easier for your family. So with that easier, you know what amount of money you'll be getting, based on the call for applications and everything. So for you as an international student, if you have the required documents and everything, just ensure that you've gotten it legalized and everything, and then upload all of the information in their applications, put in everything as it's required. And then once you're done, you're supposed to go and upload the original document onto the portal. Please, when you're uploading, ensure that, usually our browsers, you have automatic translation on. This is something that really interferes with the front end and back end for the EDGO scholarship. Please ensure that it's turned off. When you're applying for the scholarship, ensure that that is turned off because it can really interfere with the application. And then when you're uploading documents as well. Okay, so that is it. But then once you upload or once you fill the information, EDGO is going to tell you your family is easy. Basically, that is it. And then you upload the original document. And then they're just going to further look at that to reconfirm whether the calculation that they did is, needs adjustment or not.
Okay.
Basically,
Okay. And the fact that we got those documents from the National Labor Commission, it's the same as you were saying, Metropolitano District Office is the same thing.
National what? National.
He's
come from Ghana.
National Labor Commission. That is the municipal Kwasi.
Authority, that of the assembly.
Yes.
Okay. Emmanuel, are you here? I don't know. Probably I didn't know of the National Labor Assembly before I left Ghana, but then I know of the that of the assemblies, normal assemblies where you are based and everything. So I don't know what you're talking about in the sense of the Labor Commission. But then Emmanuel, you got your documents quite not a while ago. Can you, if you're here on the call, since you're also coming from Ghana, can you indicate if you know about this commission? Because where you get the document from matters.
Yeah, it matters a lot.
Non ho mai sentito questo. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Because, yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm in the Tuscan region and they demand that you get it from the local assembly. It's either you go to the municipal assembly, the district assembly, the metropolitan assembly. These are the places that, you have to go to get it authorized before you move on to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Then it goes to the embassy. So for the National Labor Authority, it's the first time I'm hearing that someone has gone there for that document. So I have no idea actually. Yeah.
Me too. So Deborah, yeah, I don't know if you can get your cousin to get on. Probably he could explain a bit better. But then just like Emmanuel mentioned, and then that is also what I know. And then if you're also listening and you're coming from Ghana, please ensure that not only from Ghana, but then wherever you're coming from, ensure that you get the document from the right authorities in your home country. If you get it from the wrong authority, they are not going to accept the document. And then you wouldn't want to wait till later on and then they tell you they've rejected the document that you submitted. And then they'll ask you to pay the full tuition because you declare that no, you don't want to pay the fixed tuition fee. You want it to be calculated based on your family's income. So if you select no, and then you say you want it to be calculated based on your family's income, and then they reject the document that you submit, you have to pay the maximum tuition, because from as at then you cannot make changes again.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Okay. Okay, so wait, let me go to YouTube, and thank you, Emmanuel, for that clarification as well. Okay, I have from Vasniti. Oh my God. Can you talk about Sicilia Regional Scholarship first? Okay, so what do you want us to talk about the Sicilia Scholarship I mentioned? And then you can see as at this point, not all regional scholarships are open. So please specify what exactly you want to know about the scholarship so that we can answer that, because we cannot generally talk about all all that you need to know about just the Sicilia scholarship. So probably if you can indicate that, we will be grateful. Then from King Paul, my father lives in Italy. What are the required documents he needs to apply for a scholarship in Genoa? Your father is the one applying for the scholarship. I think Simpson, you can answer that. I'm not quite sure if he is the one applying for the scholarship, but then he's saying that his father lives in Italy. So he wants to know the required documents to apply for the scholarship.
So if his father lives, I think, in Italy and is also part of his family composition, he will definitely have to do it. Or the father has to do it's a year, he does his family composition, which is on Ghana. And when they come here, when you go to the CAF office, they're gonna combine both essays so that becomes one.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Then let's see. Okay, so someone is asking, can I know the requirements? Reginald Yate is asking the requirements for that of the DSU Milano. Okay. Simpson, can you share a bit about the requirements for DSU Milano, if you have an idea?
What's the question? The DSU Milano?
Yes, yeah, for the University of Milano, they manage their own regional scholarship. So
yeah,
I think it's generally the same requirements. Yeah.
I think it should be generally the same. I don't have specific information, but I know when it comes to Policlinico di Milano, they have based on their countries, the group countries into different categories, and some don't necessarily need to apply for this ESA. If you just come from that country, I think Kazakhstan, Egypt, you just get the scholarship directly. Whereas for those who need the DSAO, they definitely need to go through the same steps of getting their family compositions properly from the rightful agencies and declaring it at the CAF offices as well. I don't know if you have, if there's any addition you have.
Yeah, usually mainly in the Lombardia region is really not complicated with the DSUs as compared to the other regions. Just like you mentioned, if you're coming from a particular country within the categories that they've indicated, you don't really there are various requirements, and then you don't really have to present this, present that, and everything. So it depends on where you're coming from and then what you really have to look out for. You can always check the previous call for application to have an idea, then you start preparing around it. Then I have a question from Huta. Can you submit a recipe for the application of Las Vedisco scholarship to apply for visa? I'm not getting it. A recipe for what? I'm thinking probably whether you can use the receipt for the Las Vedisco. I think you're talking about proof of funds. Whether you can use the original scholarship for proof of funds. Emmanuel, since you're here, you can answer that. Whether you can use not being awarded a scholarship, but then just the application for the original scholarship, whether you can use that as proof of funds.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to start with my session, then I explain into details. But since the question, I think I will just make a very simple response. No, it is not accepted. And just applying merely doesn't mean that you can use the application letter to apply for the visa. And with the results, that is the ranking of the original scholarships, also do not come early. Yeah, I mean, we have the provisional ranking and then we have the final ranking, in which the final ranking normally comes late November. So ideally, you cannot use that to apply for the visa. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
it.
That is very, very true. And then actually the final letter that you get on the scholarship that you've been awarded, and then that of the amounts that you were given and everything actually comes far later. Those of us on the EdGo scholarship, it just came some months ago. So because for the visa application, you need to have like the official document stating the scholarship will be awarded, the amount and everything. And then usually for regional scholarships, it come later during the second semester. Ours came during this second semester, basically. So you cannot use regional scholarships for as proof of funds for your visa application. That is just one of it. But then as outside of that as well, the DSUs are meant to support your education. That means you should have like, to support cannot be used as the main form of sponsoring your education, because currently the requirement for proof of funds, which Emmanuel is going to take us through, is around 10,179 per academic year. No DSU as at now gives up to 10,000. Okay. So obviously it's not enough for you to even use it as proof of funds for the visa application. So if will be applying for a regional scholarship, you're interested in that, take note, it can support your education, but then you need to actually prepare proof of funds for your visa application. Okay. So yes, that's what I want to put out there. I'm going to come on. I have some questions in the chat, but then I have that's better. Suhaib, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Try,
of
I'm
course.
sorry.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
The floor
Uh,
is
okay, I hope you are doing well. Thank you to you and your team for this today's session. I have two quick questions. For the first question, for the financial document requested by the CAF officer, it's legalized by the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Is it sufficient? Or do the document also needed, or do the document also need to be authenticated by the embassy? The second question, if I get a regional scholarship, for the proof of funds, can I use my regional scholarship award instead of my bank statement for applying visa from in the embassy? So, thank you.
okay. Thank you. Simpson, did you get the question?
I think the second question will be for Amanda. I think it's the same question if you can use your scholarship as proof of funds, but that's not it. It's not possible to go about that. And yeah, for the first question, once you've gotten those documents from your agencies or from the different agencies back in your home country, it has to be translated and taken to the embassy. The embassy is the one who does the final legalization of those documents. And it's gonna put the stamp. The embassy is gonna place their stamp on those documents. If that stamp is not the document might not be considered valid unless for those who come and do it in Italy. However, if you're getting the documents from back home, once you've gotten them, you have to take them to the embassy for verification and legalization as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think then the second part of the question was already answered. You cannot use you cannot use that for the application. You cannot use that for the visa application. Then we have a question here on YouTube. Nabote is asking, those of us already in Italy, how do we apply for these scholarships?
Yeah, those in Italy, just like the international students, go to the regional scholarship you're applying for. If it's Lazio Disco, you go straight to Latchidis call. It's really important to read the call, understand the requirements before going into the applications. Because when it comes to Latchidis call, we've been getting some complaints about filling, and many students were excluded from the scholarship last year. So if you're in Italy, you just have to log in. And a very important aspect for those resident in Italy, you have to log in with speed when it comes to Lachidisco. You have to use your speed ID to log in and not the credentials. So once you're in there, you go through the application, you fill, and basically that's how it has to be done. And you have to do your ISE up before the deadline as well. The ISE Universitario for residents in Italy before the deadline.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so Aston is asking the declaration sample template. The template I showed you is on the Lazadisco website, so you can just get a template there. Basically, yeah, you can get it there. Then please, talking about local from Ghana especially, are you referring to the municipal, metropolitan? Okay, we already answered that. It is basically that of the municipal assembly or metropolitan assembly. Yes. Then let's say yes. Okay. Emmanuel already answered that. I want to know the easier. Can I apply online if I apply for ESU Sasari Regional scholarship? Simpson already addressed that. Usually you cannot apply online. Okay, so you just have to.
So you could send an email or a PEC to CAF or to the regional body and see how it goes about that. If the CAF office is willing to help you with that, yes, they could do it for you. But if they are not, then you have to find some other option.
Yeah. Thank you. So from Aston is asking, I'm from Zambia and graduating next year. Is it possible to apply with the partial transcript? Okay, so this is a very good question. Let me address this here. Please, if you're on this call, if you're watching from YouTube, if you're here in the webinar, I want to put it out there. Applying for regional scholarship is not simultaneously applying to admission at a particular university. I know when you're applying for the regional scholarship, they're going to ask you which university you're going to and everything. I've seen some students who actually get awarded a scholarship, but then later the regional agency will be requiring that of the inscription to a university. And then they're like, oh, I thought I indicated in the application. It is not the same. You're supposed to separately apply for an admission at an Italian university, get the admission, and then apply for the regional scholarship. Or at least by the time you're applying for the regional scholarship, you should have also applied to a university where if the admission comes later, it's so okay. So please, that is what I want to put it out there. Ensure that you've already applied for an admission before you're applying for the regional scholarship. Then if you're graduating next year, your transcript is not really up to, if you are talking about applying for the next year's intake, that is okay, which will be opening from November, and then you can apply for admission. Okay, this is not related to regional scholarship because they do not need your transcript. What they do need is your family's income document and everything that we mentioned. So for admission with your partial transcript for the next intake, yes, you can do that. Then before I let Ishmael come on board, how is it then possible from Blessing? How is it then possible to apply for the scholarship while not present, but I have to present to get the EZE OP? Because the deadline for presenting the EZE OP is actually different. Check the COF application that you want to apply for. They have a different deadline by which you're supposed to present, the final deadline by which you're supposed to present the document they require. Okay, so that is what you have to take. It depends on whichever region you're going to and everything, but then they always have a deadline. In Tuscany, Emmanuel can speak about that, but then usually sometimes they'll ask you to courier to them the original documents, and then they're going to use that for that of the calculation. Okay, so it's not you getting the easier document, they need the original document. In other regions and also different ways that they they require you, international students, to actually get the document. But then the deadline for submitting the regional submitting the EZE UP to the regional agency is different from the deadline of the scholarship application in most cases. So just check the regional scholarship of interest on the first page or some few pages away. They have the final deadlines that they've indicated there. And then from there, you can have a fair idea. So the deadline for you international students is different from those within Italy. Because if you're within Italy, you requested for the EZE Ordinario in January there. So you just have to get the one dedicated for Diritto allo Studio. So the deadline for those within Italy is different from those from outside. So I just wanted to put that there. Then I would like to know whether it is possible to apply for an EZE Parificato online before traveling to Italy. Okay, we've already answered this. From Abdi Karim. Then let me okay. A hand was up, but then I think it's down now. Let's see from Adebola Wole. Okay, Mohammed, your hand is up. You can come on and ask your question.
Yeah, hello, Anita. Hello.
Hello. Hello. You can ask
Yeah,
the question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a Gambian, by the way, a Gambian citizen, and I applied for the Lazio Disco Scholarship recently. So I was inquiring about the family income statement recently with some friends I know in Italy. So they mentioned to me that I need to get the family income statement, I think, from my local government here in the Gambia. So my question is, the getting it from my lawyer, is it also necessary for me to take it to the foreign affairs to stamp it? And also, with regards to proving of like what my family has or anything, literally like my mom, she was a nurse, but she later retired and she's normal for almost for 2 years. But my dad already passed away, and there is no like monetary figure to express like this is exactly what they have. So basically there's nothing in there. So, and also asset likewise, which we don't have. So I don't know if that's also have an implication when you need to submit it at the CAF.
Okay, so
Captain, if I could answer that. Okay, go ahead.
Emmanuel, are you saying something?
Oh, no, sorry. No, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
Anita, you have something to say? Go ahead.
Okay, so Mohammed, you were asking, first of all, you said whether you need to take the document to the ministry in your own country. For Gambia, I'm not quite sure. I know of Zambia, but I'm not quite sure for Gambia. So wherever it is, when you get the document, you have to find out whether you need to take it to the ministry. But then whichever way, you need the authorities in your home country to authenticate the declarations that have been made. So you have to get it from the right authority and get the necessary authentications. But I'm not sure for Gambia. I only know I'm a bit sure for that of the Zambia. Okay,
Yeah,
so just
sorry.
get the
For the Gambia, I have had some Gambian friends, so I know how they did it.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, so they get the document drafted and they sent it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for them to authenticate it. And then they sent it to the embassy. I think Gambia is within Senegal, so they go to one embassy to legalize it before they bring it here. But for Gambia, they are categorized to be one of the developing countries. So if you are lucky, exactly. So if you're lucky to get your visa early, you can fly here to Italy. After you've gotten it authenticated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in your country, you can bring it to the Gambian embassy here, I think in Rome, for them to do the further processing for you. So that one is quite easier as compared to the one that you are supposed to do in Gambia. Because in Gambia, it might delay and then you may miss the deadline. So that is how it's done. Yeah.
I think the operational embassy in Italy should be in Milan.
Okay.
Yeah, they also work like if you go courier documents to them and they could provide you those documents without you being present.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think Your Mohammed, your other question was, I think your mom is the only person making an income, but then she's retired. I'm sure retirement comes with some form of of the amount she'll be getting per month. So there should be a proof of where she gets the income and everything. If you can open your mic and clarify that particular question, because if she's a retired nurse,
You mean the pension, exactly, yeah.
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 So if she's a retired nurse, already she has a document stating how much she's paid monthly and everything. So that is what you need to consider when you're making that of the declaration. Now also take note, if you are you're applying for let's say this school, they need 2024. So if your mom just retired, it's not valid for this particular application, because if in 2024 she was working, then you still have to declare her income. So you just have to look at when she retired and the requirements from the regional agency. I think that is what you need to consider. Is it clear? Do you have any other?
No, that's all. Thank you very much. I appreciate the response.
Okay, you're most welcome. Then Ishmael, your hand is up.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Please, concerning the local assembly, are we talking about the municipal and district offices?
You have to
And
tell us
then,
where you're coming from, because if it's a local assembly,
I'm
you don't know where you're coming from.
I'm from Ghana, Obuasi to be
Okay.
precise. Yes.
Okay.
So actually, I got some of my documents from the National Labor Commission here in Obuasi for my mom. She is an informal worker, so she doesn't have any form of cover letter from any work or something. So they actually wrote something like an attestation to attest the kind of work she does. But then I don't know whether the family income is going to be prepared by the local assembly, as in the Obuasi Municipal Assembly over here in Ghana, or it's going to be done in the court.
The National Labor Commission, is it like a new commission that is up or anything like that? Because this is actually the first time I'm hearing about that. I don't know if Osho was.
Why, he also mentioned the same thing.
Yeah, he also mentioned the same thing.
What is the sorry, let me ask, what is the jurisdiction of the National Labor? Is it authority or commission in Ghana? What do they do?
Okay, the one where we received that letter from was in Obuasi, then Labor Office. Obuasi Labor Office. Then,
what
it's
do they
like a
do?
branch of the National Labor Commission in Obuasi.
I wanted to know their jurisdiction, because I was trying to search online
Let me check
on
online,
National Labor
because I've never
Commission.
heard of it.
I think it deals with some work stuff, and I don't think it's the right agency to or institution to get your documents legalized. In any way, I need to also remind you that where you start from depends on the region you are going to, as per their requirements. All right, because there are some regions that I know you can start from the High Court. So you do it from the High Court and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But there are some regions also that you need to start from the local assembly before you go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So if you are so sure that you are supposed to start from the local assembly, then
okay, actually, I'm not very sure I'm supposed to start from the local assembly. With what I read with regards to the requirements, they were saying I should get a document from the right authority. And if in case where you are not able to get it, like you get it from, let's say if my dad, for instance, I got a cover letter from the mining company he works at, and then his pay slips, and then other documentations to add up. But for my mom, she is into informal work. So
let me
I
let's
didn't know
not,
how to go about it.
yeah, let's not prolong it. Let me tell you, this particular document, you don't need all these proofs or evidences, because
All right.
these particular documents, you need to prove them in Ghana or wherever you are, whichever country that you are in. But so far as, for instance, the local assembly, that because I know it's very difficult to get it from the local assembly or municipal, that is municipal or district assembly, they are very difficult because they don't know the document where it's going to and the problem it might bring them. So sometimes they want to scrutinize and get to know if indeed you stay within the district or whatever before they even do it for you. In the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also, if you go there, yes, I mean you need to send them one or two documents to prove that these are the incomes from your family. But after you are done there, you get one document that is endorsed by the agency, and that is what you use for the application of the original scholarship. Anyway, if you are going to the embassy to do the further legalization, you don't add the supporting documents because I am in Tuscan region. I did it, and then after doing all the processes in Ghana, I just sent only one document, which was the income legalized document by the local assembly, that is the district assembly I was in, and then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs endorsed, and I sent it to them, and they legalized it for me. So that is how it's done. You don't need to worry yourself so much about that.
But Austria,
right.
this is Italy. One day they'll wake up and say, "I need supporting documents." So
Yes,
I'm
I
going
mean,
to be
yes, of
safe,
course, you're right.
just
You need to make
but
available those documents there.
when
But then,
needed.
yeah, for that, you are right. I mean, that also boils down to the fact that you are supposed to declare your genuine income. You
Exactly.
shouldn't
Okay.
massage figures. I mean,
Mm.
for the sake that you want to get into the ranking.
More
So if you
money.
don't massage figures, you don't have any worries. You just send the documents if you are called upon to submit the documents. So yeah.
Okay.
That's a
Now let
very
me put it
important
out there. Okay.
about
Okay.
declaring your actual income or your family's income, because years ago we had students who declared their family income as zero, some declared €5, €1, and all that. And I mean, the first people who did this, they got to get the scholarships because they were in these strict rules. However, when they came to discover this, like, if your family income is €1, how do you live? How do you go about life? It's quite really impossible. So now they really do check on those things, and I think if you declare an income of €5, €10, €20 for the whole year, you might be quickly excluded from the scholarship because it's unrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so, so true. And then I also want to put this out there. There is this whole wave where people are trying to massage figures just to be able to get more money. What you have to
Yeah.
understand is the original scholarship are actually to support people who are in need. So if you don't necessarily have a need, I don't know why you want to, manufacture figures just to be able to get this scholarship. That is quite unfair. And I also want to put it out there. Now, the regional agencies, just like Simpson mentioned, they are very strict. They actually do checks and everything. And if they do the check and it comes out that the declarations that you've done and everything is not really correct, I don't think it will really help you at the end of the day. Because what people don't put it out there most times, the fact that if anything goes wrong, you will be required to pay back the money because that's very important. People don't talk about it when they're telling you, oh, which scholarship. If you massage figures and then you get a scholarship, when they do find out, you may have to pay back the money. So please just declare the right thing, get what you deserve, and then use it to support your studies. And based on that, I want to put this out there. Scholarships are meant to support your studies. So ensure that if you want to move abroad, don't follow trends, don't follow this one. Take enough time, prepare financially. Prepare financially because this is very, very important. I've seen students who come into the country, they get in September. By October, they're sending me email, when will the scholarship money come? But then in the call for applications, they've indicated it there that scholarship payment starts, it's paid in installments. So the first installment usually come in somewhere in December and everything. So if you come in and then you massage figures, and you find your way, you think you outsmarted the system, you get the visa, and you land into the country, you're going to get stranded because if you don't have money, it will do you like film. You will come and you don't have money, you'll be stranded because you have to pay your accommodation. You have to get your residence permit and everything. You have to take the money from your pocket until the scholarship funds comes. Okay. So if you are not really prepared financially, please take time and prepare financially before, starting the entire journey and everything. Okay. This is very, very important so that you'll not be sending me an email by October. When will the money come? When will the money come? It will come in December. It will do you like something. Okay. So I want to put it out there since a number of people from Ghana have mentioned the National Labor Commission. I saw online that they facilitate and settle industrial disputes and everything. I don't think it is within their jurisdiction to actually issue the document. You may have issues with it later in Italy. So go to that of the right authority, the local assembly, because those people they are there, and then they've been given their right to actually make the declaration. So I just wanted to put it out there. I have engineer Juicy Sin. I'm sorry, but the floor is all yours if I did mention it incorrectly. But engineer, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you to give me this kind of opportunity. And I'm from Somalia, and my name is Adam Ahmed Ahmed. And I am following the guy who was asking him some question. He said my mom she retired now, and the document they need 2024. So for example, it's issued 2025, but the document that is related to 2024. So can I use that document, for example, for family income? You understand me?
Yeah, if I got the question clearly, you said the document was produced in 2025, but
Yeah. I mean,
the
the
income
document
of
established 2025, yes, but it's recovered. It is contained inside the 2024, and
if
it's
it, if
December
it's
31, December 24.
yeah, if it's based on the income of 2024, that's fine, but it's always advisable to have like an updated document. Like if you have the 2026 document, but the income should be that of 2024 for some regions and 2025 for other regions. So it's always advisable to have an updated document.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes. I'll advise you to get one, yeah.
You're most welcome, engineer. Okay, so let's see some questions here. Adewale, okay, I think okay, hello, I'm a prospective master's student at the University of Florence, and I would like to get more information on the process for the DSU scholarship, specifically for the format of the income document, family composition, as there's no official body who issues these documents. From Nigeria, the authorities that issue the document. Patri, the floor is yours, if you can.
Yeah, for Nigeria and for Tuscany region, you need to first go to the local governments to get it endorsed. I think I've already answered in the comment section. So you get to any of the local governments to get it endorsed. I have seen some people also going to some traditional councils for local, the traditional council's signature and stamp. You have seen such documents. And then after that, it goes to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria. Then it goes to the embassy for legalization. So you book an appointment through VFS and then you get it legalized. So that is the process. It's very simple. But then before you go to the starting point, that is the local assemblies to do it, or local government to do it, you need to draft it on your own and you send it to them for them to do it for. So it's a soft copy or you print it or something like that, and they will put it on their letterhead, endorse it by signing and stamping. So before you get it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and then subsequently to the embassy, the Italian embassy in Nigeria. So that is the process.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so I think Gideon asked a question, and then Gideon, I think what you mean by the university summary is you're talking about a pre-enrollment summary. Okay, so the pre-enrollment summary, obviously you have to pre-enroll to the University of Casino to get that of the summary. So if your question is you've pre-enrolled, but then you've not gotten the summary for some time, the only thing you can do is to reach out to the university, because that is the requirement for the visa application. Okay, so if you pre-enrolled and you've not gotten the summary, you may have to reach out to the University of Casino for assistance with that, since usually nobody can do anything about it except the university. Okay, so yeah, but if you've not pre-enrolled, then you have to pre-enroll before. Simpson, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think for Casino now, what they do is once you got an admission, they send you a confirmation email. They don't issue you that pre-enrollment letter anymore. They just give you a confirmation email and direct you to go to university to apply on it. And once you apply on university, then they issue you that they do the confirmation and issue that document, and you will send that to the embassy as well.
Yeah, so I think he was asking of the pre-enrollment summary from University Italy, but then his question wasn't clear whether he had done the pre-enrollment and then probably it's been a long time, he has not heard from them, it's not been validated.
Yeah, I
and
think
everything.
Casino it takes quite a while now because there's only one
First
lady
come,
who
first
works
serve.
those documents, and yeah, she has a lot of work here.
Yeah. Okay, so Daniel, your hand is up. You can come and ask the question.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Daniel from Ghana, and I'm about to submit my study visa, but from the requirement from the VFS, they indicated the proof of accommodation, either rental contract or a letter from the university. So I was asking if I could use hotel reservation because I've tried reaching out to the institution, University of Palermo, but they are not responding. So I wanted to ask if I could use hotel reservation as a proof of accommodation.
Yeah, I've seen the question in the comment section, and this has been a question since they opened for the visa application. And in fact, per the requirements this year I've seen that of the Nigerian embassy and that of Ghana embassy. I don't know for the others, but normally it's the same for most countries for international students. Initially, it was to book or to make a hotel reservation for the visa application, but this year they specifically stated that it must be a confirmed accommodation, in which it can be confirmed from the university or I think they mentioned another body. So it's become a matter of confusion for applicants to either still going for the hotel reservation or get something like a contract from any landlord or landlady here in Italy. But you and I know that it's very difficult here, even those for us that we are here to get accommodation. Also, those who have gotten their visas are coming is very difficult. And the landlords and ladies here, most of them will not give you a contract without making an advance payment. So it's kind of tricky. But the advice I give people is that now they just started this particular new rules that we don't know how they are implementing it. So if you know someone here in Italy, they do not care if you have family members here. They actually care, but they care in the sense that you're not going to be a burden on the government. So it's not a matter of when you come, you will not go back to your home country. So if you know someone, can get a person to give you something like a domicile, I don't know, domicilio. Just write a letter, just writing a letter that that person is going to take you in, and then maybe you find a suitable accommodation within your school, even if the person is not within the place where your school is or the city where your school is located. It will work. if you don't know anybody here, then you just go in for the hotel reservation and you see what happens, because you don't have a choice. There are hostels also. Normally, I tell people to use bookings.com. If you search, you can get some hostels within on that particular platform, so you can make your reservation and then you use it. If it starts popping up that the embassy is calling people to get the domicile or the domicile or any other confirmed accommodation here in Italy before they proceed with the assessment of the documents, then we have to look at that. It's not going to be easy, but yeah. So that is my view on this particular question. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And I want to put it out there just to add to what you said. There's this site that you guys can actually use to book accommodation if, like I see in the Ghanaian embassy, they are requiring, that of an accommodation itself. Okay, so if you're going to a normal household in Italy, it's going to be very, very difficult because they require this, they require that, they require that. But then you can use Uniplaces. So let me see, Uniplaces Italy. I'll show you the site. They have like contracts with they provided a platform for students to get the contract from that of the homeowners that have listed their property there. So an example, you will be, let's say, you want probably just 1 month accommodation. You're going to pay what is required for the apartment and everything. And then you're going to get that of the house contract for that 1 month. Usually that can, you can use that for that of the visa application. Let me show you how the site looks like. I know at the beginning, getting that one can be a bit quite expensive for your budget, but then you have to look at the requirements around that, when you can cancel and everything, if you don't intend to go for that, long term. But then at maximum, you just need 1 month. So they have like different places. So if, let's say, here, if you're going to, let me say, Rome, okay, or Bologna, you're coming to Bologna. So here, it's going to give you that of options in Bologna. It's a bit expensive, but they have 700 per month and everything, depending on when you want to book from July. But then if you want to book far away in, let's say, in September, in October, in November, it's quite cheaper if you're booking far ahead. Okay, so you just have to look at the options available on the site and then choose for options that are below. You can see they have, single room where it's shared. So we just look at that. Bologna is more expensive, but if you're going to, let's say, Palermo or other places, obviously you get a room that is a bit far less. So let's say Palermo. Then you're going to see, the options 350 and everything. So if you are going for something like this, the house owner, because of the agreement that they have with the let's say the site owners or those who manage this platform, they produce that of a contract that you can use for the visa application. This is specifically for, contracts. You go here specifically for, the visa application. Okay. Yes, so you go there, you stay there for a month, and then you look for your own accommodation that you want to go with. So these are options that you can use. You go onto the site to check. You can see the availability. So you can see in September is 350 and everything. Here you can see September is 350, October 350 if you're going to Palermo. So you go for the cheapest option available because that's not what you really intend to use long term. So you choose the cheapest option available, and then you get a contract from the house owner, you make the needed payments, and you use that for the visa application. Once you come in, you look for a much more permanent place. Because for Ghana, don't risk going for a hotel reservation since they've specifically stated that you need that of a house contract. Okay. where other places, where other embassies, where they've indicated that you can use that of the hotel booking. That one, you're free to use that. Okay. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to add to that.
Aaron, I wanted to know, that means that if you make payment and perish the thoughts, but if you don't get a visa, that means that your money is gone, or there is a refund policy.
There is a refund policy, and then you also have to look, because if you're booking far away in, let's say, September, October, and everything, you have to check when you're supposed to make payment, and then the sites have a way they guarantee the amount that the payment that you make, the deposit that you make, and everything. So you just have to go to the site, read all of the everything that you need to know, obviously, and see if it works for you, and you go with a house owner that is not so stringent, because if you're going with a direct homeowner, you may have to pay that of the capara as well. So it becomes very expensive. I've seen someone who said he's going to Milan Bikoka and they're asking her for a capara over 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros.
Sure.
That's a lot for you as a
That is it.
student.
Yeah, that is a deposit. For those who do not understand, you're going to pay a deposit in addition to the amount you will not pay. So if you're paying 350 for, say, a month stay, you're gonna pay a deposit of like 1,000, or let's say 500 in addition. So you're paying 1,000.
Yeah, that is usually for normal house renting in Italy.
Yes.
So that if you're leaving, if something is broken and everything, they can use that, to cover. But then if you're going for student housing, usually the cover is not so expensive. And that is what saves you from a normal renting and everything. So yeah, that's what I want to put it out there. Then there's a question from here. Daniel, I think we've answered your question. If you're not clear, you can ask that. But then if you have any other question, you can also raise your hand and come on board and answer. But then now I think we have exhausted that of the period for okay, yeah. The last question I have here is can I apply for regional scholarship even though I didn't receive my offer letter yet from the university in the particular region? So I think Simpson, that is the last question you can answer for the day of regional scholarship. Then we open the floor for Emmanuel to talk about the visa, and then we take the questions on visa and then we wrap it up for today. So Simpson, you can answer this question and then we let you go.
Yeah, so yeah, if you haven't still received your admission confirmation, you could still apply for that university. And in the Lazio region, they give you the opportunity to modify your application after a couple of days or a couple of weeks when you're sure about that. But I've had cases of people who applied probably for Rome, but later weren't accepted by the university in Rome and got Casino, for instance. And when they came to Casino, they opened the ticket to the scholarship body, and they were still given the opportunity to get the scholarship. So yeah, it's possible to go about it. The most important is send that scholarship application before the deadline. And many people always try to wait towards the deadline, and the sites, most especially in Latin Disco side, will start to be slow, and many people have lost their scholarships that way because they could not apply for that. So yeah, that is it for now, and thank you very much, Anita, for this opportunity to be over here. In case anyone needs assistance, I'm always available at any time. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can share your details in that of the comment section. And then you can also spell it out. So those who are watching on YouTube as well, they can get your details. If you are going to that of the Lazio region and probably you need more clarifications on the regional scholarship or anything, or if you get to come and study in Italy and then you have any issue with your permits, you're not quite sure, if you are watching us and then you even know of someone who probably they are about to graduate, an international student who is about to graduate, and then they are confused on how to convert from student permit to work permit, how to convert to permesso in attesa di lavoro and all of that. You can always reach out to Simpson to assist with that of the process and everything. So Simpson, you can leave your details in the comment section. When I say comment section, in the chat, so that I'll pin it, and then I'll also put it in on YouTube as well. So that those who want to reach out to you, they can reach out to you. And then you can also spell it out as well in.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you can. Okay. So thank you so much. Simpson will be leaving his details in the chats. He's that of a tax officer here in Italy. He's in Casino. He has been assisting students with regional scholarships and everything related to permit and everything. So if you're struggling with your residence permit, you come in, you're struggling where to go, how to fill the form, how to do this, how to do that, you can always reach out to his office. You can reach out to him and then he can assist you, with your permits, application for the permits and everything. So yes, we are waiting for your details. You can find his details in the chat. But then basically, thank you so much, Simpson, for coming on board, for taking time today to be with us. We really appreciate your time and everything. Will you be leaving the details in the chat? Simpson?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
drop that
Okay.
in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. You can find him on Instagram, TS Consultants. You can find him on TikTok as well. He's going to leave that of their email as well in the chat, okay, so that you can reach out to him. But then now we are going to let Emmanuel come on to share with us. If you have questions about the Italy study visa, now is the time. For the next 1 hour, we're going to talk about that and everything. If you need more clarifications on uni places, I saw someone was asking a question on uni places and everything. We can also go onto the site so that you can see some of the conditions to book an accommodation through the site and everything. And then from there, you can, get a bit more understanding. But then, Emmanuel, the floor is yours. You can come on and
Thank you very much. I think I've
Yeah.
waited for them, but yeah, it's worth it. Let's see. So for the visa application, the rules are general, but we have some few countries that vary the process. I can just single one country out. Aside that, all other countries follow the same procedure. They are similar, not to say same, but they are very, very similar. That is Cameroon. For them, they use blocked account, just like Germany. But aside Cameroon, that I am aware of, all other countries, they have similar process for international students. Now, let's run through quickly the documents that are needed for the visa application as an international student coming to Italy to study. First of all, it's been noticed that the embassies do not want overflow of applications. And so this year, I've seen that, especially Ghana, I don't know of, and I think Nigeria, I don't know of the other countries, but they've given a time frame to apply for visa, which is started from last month, that was June 15th to 30th November. So 30th November, you should have made your visa application. The documents, visa application form, which can be gotten from the embassy, as in the embassy's website, you just download and you fill. You need to also get 2 recent colored photos, that is passport size, with white background. You need your original passport valid for at least 18 months, which is like a year and a half. Then you need your birth certificate, one of the most important documents to submit. Your birth certificate, the original copy and mandatory. That is mandatory. The original copy and the photocopy, which is very mandatory. I will advise that you do not, on any circumstance, falsify your birth certificate for any reason. Make sure you submit a genuine birth certificate. Then your family status declaration. This family status declaration is different from the family income status declaration. It's different. With this family status declaration, the embassy just wants to see your family unit. In any case, in Italy, they only consider nuclear family as your family. So if you are submitting your family status certificate and then you intend to add your auntie, your uncle, that is you. They will look at it fine and they wouldn't query or do anything. But just for you to know that they consider your nuclear family. So if you're married, you, your wife, and your kids, if you have kids, if you're staying with your parents, then it must be your mom, your dad, you, and your siblings. It is enough. So this one doesn't include any financial inputs. No 2000 blah blah blah. My mother got this money within this year. No, it is just your mother's name, the relationship to you, the job she does, the age. That is all. If your dad, your siblings, the same thing, and then you just declare them, and then the address where you stay, and that is all. Then the letter of acceptance, that is the admission letter you've gotten. Some of you, you got the admission from some schools that didn't give you admission. All that you need to do is to just get your pre-enrollment summary. It's also substitute for the letter of acceptance, so it's fine. You need your declaration of value or CHIMIA. I believe by this time you know these ones. Recently, I got to realize that there were some one or two schools that do not, not the schools, but the embassy will not query you if you don't have the declaration of value or CHIMIA if you are going to that school. I don't know, but I have had students in the school that have testified that indeed they didn't do CHIMIA, neither DOV, but then they got their visas, which is University of L'Aquila University. I didn't get the explanation very well, but then this is just about 1 out of 100 chances. So if you are going to all other universities, any of those universities, you need to get either your declaration of value or your CHIMIA, and these documents are used to attest to the fact that your certificates are genuine. So just for you to know. Then certification of your previous studies, certification proving knowledge of if you are going for Italian language mode courses, that is the course that are taught in Italian, you need B2. If you are going for courses that are taught in English, you need your English language proficiency letter from the university you attended, or you can provide any English language tests you have written and passed. So that is that. Then you come to letter of acceptance. Okay, it's just a repetition. Then international insurance policy. Now, with this particular requirement, it has been a little bit reframed as compared to what they brought last year. It was just international health insurance, but that is for 30 days. But this year, they've written international insurance policy. Be aware that the assistance provided must be valid in Italy and must not involve limitations or exceptions to the rate established for emergency hospitalization for its entire duration. This means that there are some international travel health insurance that give limitations on the cover. So if you are going to buy your travel health insurance, make sure you tell them what you are going to use it for. If possible, show them this particular writing so that they get to know exactly what to give. Because if you submit any health insurance that do not cover most vital things when you arrive here in Italy, that is going to cost you. So it is better you make it known before you purchase. Also, as it were, that they were given 30 days as the minimum. This year they just left it open. So it means that you can choose whichever time frame you want to buy it. If you want to buy it for 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, that depends on you. Now, flight booking. So you need to make a reservation for flights. That I can't explain here, but then there are apps that you can do your flight booking and then you don't pay anything. There are some flights that also, if you make the reservation, we call it blocking. You pay a little amount for it to be blocked, and then you make your visa application. Sometimes it takes 3 days before it expires. If you can also, you can choose to use the Ethiopian Airlines, which it's 24 hours before it expires. So if you are going to apply for your visa, maybe 24 hours before, you can make your reservation and then you're good to go. You don't pay anything. Now, proof of a confirmed of suitable accommodation in national territory that we have explained at length. And so, like I said, if you know someone here, you can let a person give you a domicile. As and also said, you can go to uni place. It has already been explained. You go there, then you make your reservation, get your contract, and then you make your visa application. If you have a family member here, preferably your parents, even if it's not your parents and it is the first, second, third degree, whatever, I'll explain that soon. They have a document that can be filled and given you, indicating that document is 3 in 1. First, it is a sponsorship document. 2, that is sponsoring you to come and study here. 2, it is also meant to show that that individual can accommodate you. And 3, for health insurance coverage. They can buy health insurance for you when you arrive here. So you can get that document. It's online. It's at the embassy's websites. And then you feel which part the person wants to give you. But then make sure that the person has residence here for their lodging, for their accommodation aspect, because it just can't be someone who, or a student who is here and the person will go in for that document, fill and give you. They will call you and then probably they will ask you to bring another proof of accommodation. So that is just by the by. Proof of adequate means of subsistence. Well, I'm coming to that. I mean, that is the main thing that I need to discuss today. Then personal letter of commitment. So these things are together. Now, moving to the proof of funds, you can get admission, you can get all the other documents that I've already mentioned, but then the proof of funds, I would say, amount to like 80% of the visa acquisition, which is very, very rudimental. So, in my opinion, it is very important you prepare very well when you want to come and study in Italy, and it is better you prepare way before you even get admission, because of the stringent requirements. First of all, the embassy demands you to have a 6 months bank statement, and that is why I'm saying that it is important that you prepare very well before you come. If you are working, getting enough money, you want to come and study, you need to save a lot and save from previous months before your money adds up, and then you apply for the visa. Now they need 6 months bank statement, the last. So for instance, if you are applying your visa in August, that means January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Okay. So that would be like from February or March if you are applying your visa in July or August. So you need to calculate backwards 6 months, and that is the bank statement that you will need. Now, just to read directly from the requirements for obtaining visa, from the procedure for entry, stay, enrollment of international students, and the relevant recognition of titles for higher education courses in Italy valid for academic years 2026 to 2027 and 2027 to 2028. Now, without prejudice to the evaluation of migratory risk, they've quoted whatever, in order to obtain a study visa for university enrollment, type D national, and subsequently a residence permit, the international student must demonstrate possession of the following requirements. A, financial means of subsistence for the planned stay. These funds are quantified at an annual amount of 10,179.85 euros, so approximately 10,180 euros. Now, this amount, they are now explaining further on where this amount must be coming from. The availability of these funds must come from legal and traceable sources and should preferably be personal. So let me just stop here. What they are saying is that you need 10,180 euros as your balance. Okay. That is for an academic year. So if you're coming for bachelor's, if you're coming for master's, PhD, you need that. That is for a year and some months. The other document, they wrote 17 months. So a year and 5 months, which is practically what they need from you. Now, they are saying that preferably it should be coming from you, the applicants, who is coming to study. So that means that they are very, very serious with that particular clause. Or alternatively, provided by the family unit, into brackets, relative up to the 4th degree. Now, they have said relative up to the fourth degree, let's look at the degrees that we have. The first degree is parents. Now, the second degree of your relatives are grandparents, grandfather, grandmother, siblings, your sister, your brother. Now, third degree comes with great grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews. Then the fourth degree comes with first cousins, great aunts, uncles, great aunts and uncles. Now, let me be very simple here. Now, they've given you all these degrees, but believe you me, they really want you to bring your parents. So if you have your parents there to support you, there is no need for you to be looking at going to second, third, and fourth degree, because they look at the immediate. In Italy, they value the nuclear family very much rather than the extended family. So if you have your parents to sponsor you, let them sponsor you. If they cannot and you can, I advise that you sponsor yourself rather than going to the second degree, the third degree, and even the fourth degree. All right. Now, where permitted in the country of origin, revolving current accounts and fixed term accounts in the name of the student should be preferred. So, they are talking about the current account, savings, fixed term, whatever, and they want that to be in your name. So, if you are sponsoring yourself and you are saying that you are running a company, you are self-employed, an entrepreneur, you have to still get a bank statement in your name, not just the company. They really need that particular document. Now, moving on. In relation to the traceability of these funds, it is the duty of the diplomatic consular representation to verify the source of funds and their effective attribution to the student or to their family unit. Now, when you talk about traceability, means that the document, the funds that you have in your account must match the job that you claim that you are doing. For instance, if your dad is a miner, every month your dad is receiving like 35,000 Ghana cedis. And it is showing in the bank statement. So the moment you take your dad's bank statement and you submit it at the embassy, they see that the funds are coming from so and so mining company. Maybe I don't know, I don't want to give names from Ghana or any other country, but so and so mining company. And immediately they get to see it and they know that the document you've provided, the bank statement is genuine. They don't need any other thing. Your visa is rightly approved. Okay. Though they also go ahead and do verifications from the banks, but then such a statement will just straightforward give you your visa. If you say you are an entrepreneur, you're running your own business, it means that your entries, your inflow and outflow must match the job that you are doing. It can't be that you have an amount equivalent to, let's say, for the sake of the diversity with the participants here, let's say in equivalent to you have an input of or an entry of 2,000 euros, and it is coming from nowhere. I mean, you just debited that amount, and the job that you are doing, even if you add all your salaries from January to December, you're not going to get that 2,000 euros. It is a red flag to them. So you need to make sure that you prepare adequately before you apply for the visa. The job that you are doing must match the money you have in your account. If you decide to dump in money into your account, get money from this place, get money from that place, and it doesn't match the job, the job you are doing is going to be a straightforward denial. All right. So moving on, also say that okay. All right. So, in relation to the traceability of these funds, it is the duty of the diplomatic consular representation to verify the source of the funds and their effective attribution to the student or to their family unit. Also, by assessing the movement of the bank account and the coherence of the funds with the student's income and overall family wealth. So, when they deny you a visa, they have some of the common words that they use. Your socioeconomic status is not adequate and whatever. Now, this means that they are going to look at the economic situation of your entire family. For instance, if your dad or your mom is sponsoring you and the amount that they are submitting is not enough. For instance, they are saying bring 10,180 euros and you submit 7,000 euros. It means that the amount is not adequate and they are going to deny you the visa. All right. If you submit a bank statement in which the monies that are in the bank statement do not align to your father's job that he or she is doing, they are going to deny the visa. If you say that my dad is sponsoring me, I also have maybe a second degree sponsor, like my grandfather also sponsoring me, and your grandfather is having like 8,000 euros, whilst your dad is just presenting 2,100 euros, is a straight denial because they value that of your immediate family member as compared to the second degree and the third degree. All right, because they have a view that if your dad is not in the capacity to sponsor you, how much more maybe your grandfather or your grandmother are going to sponsor you? Is your grandmother or grandfather not having other responsibilities? They consider all these things. So your socioeconomic status must be very strong before you make the application. The activities in your account, they are very, very key. Now, the financial means of subsistence may also be provided by Italian institutions and entities with established credit. Now, this comes to the point where we have scholarships available in Italy. We have the Italian government sponsoring students to come and study. We have the Invest in Your Talent. They are all Italian institutions that can sponsor. There are some bodies also within the schools that sponsor. We have university scholarships that we have in University of Siena and other institutions. They are all also considered. So they are the ones that are classified to be Italian institutions, okay, and entities with established credit, including universities, okay, by local governments, by foreign institutions. So if you have any foreign scholarship that are verifiable, yeah, I mean you can submit it. And entities considered reliable by Italian diplomatic representation. Mere candidacy or meeting the eligibility requirements for a scholarship funded by regional bodies for the right to study in the absence of explicit attestation of award of the scholarship cannot be considered in the calculation of the means of subsistence. So those who were asking that question is here. Just by applying for the original scholarship do not guarantee that you get a scholarship and eventually get a visa. So you cannot use the visa application. Previous years, there were people that could wait to get the final ranking and use the original scholarship to apply. But now things are done so quickly. There are a lot of applications, a lot of students wanting to come to Italy to come and study. So by the time it reaches to the point where the rankings are out, probably you may not even get to apply for the visa. So you should not bank on getting the original scholarship to apply for visa. It is a no-no for me. In any case, the aforementioned financial means must be framed within a broader assessment of the student's family socioeconomic context. It keeps repeating. It keeps repeating. Assessment of the student's family socioeconomic context or that of their guarantor, such that it reasonably appears that these means will also be available for the continuation of the course of study. So this brings us to the point where the money that you are showing, the 10,180 euros, you must also prove to the embassy that even after that 1 year and some 5 months that the money is going to sustain you, you can also take care of yourself with the subsequent years. If you are coming for masters, it's 2 years. For bachelor's, it's 3 years. So if your father, your mother is sponsoring you, your father or mother should also give some guarantees, assurities, or assurances that you are going to be catered for even after the first academic year, because you all know that the money doesn't sit in account only for the purpose of your school, for other purposes as well. So you need to, let the embassy know how affluent your family is. So that brings me to the end of the proof of funds. If there are questions, I will take them from here.
Thank you so much. I have loads and loads and loads of questions. Please, at this point, if you have questions, you have to quickly raise your hand. You come on board and ask the question. I have questions as well in the chat that I will be asking. The first question I have is from Blessing.
Okay.
Using my maternal half brother who lives in Italy as my sponsor, and him giving me the POF to self-sponsor myself, which is better because in my family status certificate, I can't add him.
All right. So there has been some questions concerning the family status certificates, and is it advisable to add my sponsor or not? I've already
Yeah, but
explained.
wait,
Okay.
Emmanuel, wait. I think Blessing she has also raised her hand, so probably she want to clarify that more. So Blessing, you can come on board and ask the question since your hand is also up.
Okay.
Blessing.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. What I'm trying to say here is that,
Hmm.
like my question goes, I'm asking if I can use my maternal half brother as my main sponsor, or him gifting me the proof of funds to self-sponsor myself. Because in my family status certificates, I clearly can't add him because I can only add my nuclear family there. And he's my half brother. So I'm kind of in between. I don't know which to go for.
Yeah. And from the little experience I've had, and I think this example I'm going to give today will be a strong signal to all applicants that are going to apply and are asking me, okay, we've seen this particular requirement from the ministry from Italy that you can use this degree of family unit to apply. Your question, I would say that no, you can't use him to make the application. Recently, there was a guy from Nigeria that applied. I think he applied very early when they opened for the visa application, and he got denied. The denial reason was very simple: invalid sponsor. So he came to me, and he was really frustrated. You can see the guy was frustrated. So I asked him who the sponsor was, and the sponsor was the uncle. But you all bear me out that we have an uncle represented in the degrees. So the ministry has brought out this requirement. I mean, this keeps coming each and every year. Even before now, it was stated there that you are supposed to let your parents sponsor you or yourself. They also stated some entities that I've already mentioned. But if you go to the Eastern African countries, example Kenya, their embassies were allowing some applicants to use their uncles and even brothers. So you could see that it varies from embassy to embassy. But if you are coming from West Africa, I mean, it's a no-go area. Even with that, I mean, Eastern African countries, it is not as straightforward as it is. I think not everyone will tell you the story, but from the little I've heard from them, it's more or less like they do other things in addition, not just straightforwardly using your uncle or your auntie or whoever. So now they have varied it a little. They have added some more flesh information to it, but the value is the same. Your father is your father, your mother is your father. Just use them, or you are applying, you are sponsoring yourself. So for me,
Yeah, but then the question is, so is either she's using him as the sponsor or she's taking the money from him to
okay,
self-sponsor
it
herself?
is the same thing. It is the same thing. Though where the money lies is very important. That if the money is in your account, even some people, their parents will never send the money to them. But if your half brother is willing to send you the money, it's still the same. If anybody sends you money into your account, it is never considered as self-sponsorship. You shouldn't misconstrue that. It is never considered as self-sponsorship. Still, the person is sponsoring you, but just that the money has been deposited into your account. So the value is the same. He's still the one
Okay.
sponsoring you. And the reason they will deny is that the first impression before the visa officer, that is your document, is that they do not believe it. People keep just depositing money into their account, making claims. So it is not easy for them to believe. So it's not.
But then if that is the only option that you have, if you don't have your parents who can sponsor you and everything, probably you have to show proof of ties, how you are really, really related to that your half brother. And then if he's willing to send the money to you, just to add to what she's saying. if that's the only option you have to use it at the end of the day. But then probably with a better option of he sending the money to you, you showing maybe additional declaration from him saying that he will continually sponsor and everything. At the end of the day, the embassy will try and cross-check his situation here in Italy. So an example, if he's claiming to want to sponsor you and then he has his family here and then maybe he's not even able to, because usually our family members in the abroad, they don't give us more of the details, but then the embassy will go find out the details. So if he has family here and then it's the government that is taking care of them, that will affect your visa application because they'll deny you. If he cannot take care of himself and then he say he want to sponsor your education,
Yeah,
you
it
get it.
opens
So
up
just
to a
get
lot
all the
of,
details.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It opens up to a lot of investigations. They'll get to look into the person who is sponsoring you, financial situation, even how the person came to Italy, they're going to look at it. So you must be careful. That is when they are interested in either giving you the visa. If they are not going to give it to you, they will not even worry getting into details like that. So yeah.
Mr. Emmanuel, I have a question. Prior to the conversation, you talk about using your parents as sponsors and them checking their accounts and their work payments and saying that they are not making sufficient money that would amount to that proof of funds amount that you're submitting. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
I don't get it. Come again.
You said it would be preferable to use my parents.
Yes.
Yes, but the money right now is not coming from my parents because, okay, in my own situation, my mother is not working, my father is retired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so me using them, I would also have to like provide my father's bank statement or something,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yes.
But it's not going to testify or it's not going
Yeah,
to
that
testify
is why
any.
yeah, not to cut you short, but that is why Anne has said that now they have made some clarifications in the rules in which if that is the only option that you have now, it is also not only the bank statement that you submit. You need to add proof of where the money comes from. For instance, like I always use,
Yes.
if your dad is a miner, your dad is having a job contract with a mining company, so the job contract can be added. Tax returns are already on the pay slip, so you can add one or two samples of pay slips to the documents. When it comes to business, an entrepreneur, maybe someone's father is dealing in spare parts, that means that the person must get the business registration certificate from the parents, and then tax also returns, and anything to prove any document that you can use to prove the job that your sponsor is doing. You can do it. You can do it. In this case, if you are only going to use, if your only option that you have is your maternal half brother, like Anne Riley said, you need to prove the ties you have with him. Possibly, if he has sponsored you before, in the sense of taking care of you, monies he has sent you before, not recently, like you can use like a year before or 2 years before, that has been consistent. If he's paid your fees before, you can use that link. Also, I don't know, some pictures to show that, you are close, that in that sense. Some pictures he might have taken with your mom, you also the pictures that you have taken with your mom. You need to add anything, you need to use any resource that you have at your disposal to prove the link between you two. If not, then it's going to be difficult. You understand? Yeah, so
Okay.
if you don't have your parents sponsoring you, or you can't get them to sponsor you, then I think that is the option that you can go for, and you get it.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
rough, but yes, that is how you should go about it. Use anything at your disposal to prove your relationship, and also get the money in your account, which is very important. Yeah, it's very
Thank you,
important.
Audrey. So we have so many other questions, so we're going to run through it. We have Leah. I have questions on YouTube as well, and I have got questions in the chat. So Leah, come on board and ask the question.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Please, I wanted to ask. My uncle in Ghana, he's a miner. He's one of the heads of the mines, and basically, he did his saldo disponibile which was like 8,000 for the proof of funds, because we first looked at what was they asked last year. We contacted Unibo, etc., and they directed us to the information of last year. So we did the bank statement for last year. The university did aggiornamento, and now it's 10,000. So he has only 8,000 in his account. So I contacted my lawyer, and my lawyer was like, we can do like fideiuzione bancaria. And like I am fourth grade. So if we do fideiuzione bancaria of like 3,000, which the bank will block, and we kind of like, I write a cover letter as the cousin of my cousin, to add my, so that we will be co-sponsors of my cousin. I wanted to ask, is it possible that we do like proof of relationship, because he's my father's brother? Yes.
Okay, so the aggiornamento came in June. As of now, I'm sure your cousin has not, applied for the scholarship. Is there nothing the dad could do to kind of like increase his funds or anything like that? Because even as the dad, based on last year's requirements, he preparing just 8,000 as proof of funds is it's something, it's I don't know. The dad, he cannot just show 8,000 euros because you want to sponsor your son. Usually, if you're an external person sponsoring someone, you need to have more than the requirement. Because if you give the 8,000 to him, what do you do? Because
let me see.
Before they were asking for
let him know.
7,000.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
You said your dad is doing what job does he do? He's a minor.
Not her dad. Not her dad.
My uncle
cousin's dad.
is a minor.
Your uncle.
Sorry, I didn't get it right. So that means that your uncle. I
She's
misheard.
asking for her cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I misheard. I thought it was the dad. So means that your uncle.
Yeah.
He's sponsoring the cousin. So I think give him the details more so that he doesn't confuse it. Your uncle is not sponsoring you.
Okay. So my cousin is sponsoring my uncle is sponsoring my cousin, but he has only 8,000 in his account. And I am here in Italy, and my lawyer is saying that I can do fideiuzione bancaria of 3,000, so that it would be like, I think, 12,000. Yeah. So with fideiuzione bancaria, then I write a cover letter to attach. Then we do we use it as proof of funds.
Well, which countries are you? Ghana? Are you talking about Ghana?
Yeah, Ghana. My cousin is in Ghana.
It's not left for me. It is not something they look at, they require. Okay, we know the process. Like if it is red, is red. You know Italians. If it is blue, is blue. But there are sometimes they use their discretion to make some decisions in favor of it. So if that is the only option you've got, I think that it is solid. If I'm to be a visa officer, considering this, I will I will give the visa, to be honest.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, if I am to be their shoes, I'll give the visa. I don't know what they will say, because sometimes when someone brings such situations, I sit down, put myself in their shoes, and I say, okay, let it go. Because last year there was a guy who came here in Siena, and the father was sponsoring. The father is in the United States. He submitted a bank statement of 90,000 USD, which is over the amount that was required. When he called me that he was giving the visa, I asked him, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes." I asked him, "Did the embassy call you for anything?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "What did they ask you? Did they ask you if your dad is having a bank account in Ghana?" He said, "Yes." When they called, that is exactly the question they asked him. Is your dad having a bank account in Ghana? Because there is no way they will approve a visa when your dad is not either in Italy or in the home country that you are applying for. But then they went ahead to approve the visa for him, because I mean it's the dad, and it's very unfortunate he doesn't have a bank account here or in Ghana, but rather in the US. So I mean they could approve. If we go south, then I mean, know that you need to find another way. In any way, if you get denied, you can apply again. If you only have this a solid funds, you can quickly apply again. That is it.
To add to it quickly, and then we move to other people who have their hands up. Leah, I think you also have to look at your situation here in Italy. If you have a very solid, financial situation and everything, then you can add to what your uncle is doing, the sponsorship that he's given to your cousin. At the end of the day, what they're just
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to do is they'll try and find a bit more information about you. They want to know your financial situation. Is she solid in Italy? And everything. And then at the end of the day, if you are good to go, they'll look at that with a combination of your uncle's financial standing and issue the visa to your cousin. But what I'm just going to say is, beyond the 1 year that you're trying to prove to the embassy as of now, your uncle should be able to show the embassy that subsequently he can continually sponsor the child. Because subsequently, that is not going to be relied on you. I'm sure that is not the case. So
Yeah.
your cousin may have to show the embassy through the cover letter or the sponsorship letter that your uncle and you yourself will be writing. Your uncle will need to state how he intends to subsequently sponsor the son. That's very, very important. Obviously, if you intend to sponsor him beyond the first year, beyond that of the 3,000 that you're giving us at now, you also have to indicate it in your sponsorship letter that you'll be adding to your uncle, which your cousin will be presenting. But then if you have a solid background, that could, they could look at that, look at your uncle's, and then issue out that of the visa. Because if he works in the mines and then he can show a good financial standing, I'm sure they can look at that as well. So that's just to
Okay,
add
thank
to
you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
that. Yeah. Okay. So I have, wait, before I have some questions here. Okay. From Ikpe, oh, wait, is proof of funds only required for 1 year? Sure.
All right. So with the proof of funds, it is not practically required. You don't need to submit just an academic year. If you have more, submit. Now, this is what I was preaching in the years before, because it was stated 7,000 euros. Some at a point it was even 6,900 or so, which was accounting for only a year. But I was preaching this gospel that it is important you add more, say 10,000, 11,000, which will account for additional like 6-7 months. Here is the case this year. They brought 10,180 euros and they wrote into brackets 17 months, accounting for 1 year and 5 months. So they have made it very concrete for you to know that, I mean, this is what they need. So if you have this 10,100 euros, it is not 1 year. It is rather,
okay.
It is not 1 year. It is 1 year, 5-6 months. It exceeds.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it exceeds
Okay,
that 1
that's
year.
good.
So, I mean, if you have that amount, it's fine. If you have more, which is verifiable, traceable, yeah, you're good to go. You need to you can use it.
Okay, so David is Kevin is asking if my father is the sponsor with his 2-year-old fixed deposit, should we need to produce source of funds since those are savings?
Yes.
He has a fixed deposit.
Yes, he has a fixed deposit and they are savings. But then, yes, you need to, because I can claim that I have these savings there for the purpose of my son's school. Where did I get the money from? All boils down to the source. So you need to prove the source of your father's business that he got you that money from. You are not restricted to use only one bank statement. You can use 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I mean, no matter the amount that you use. But then maximum, I suggest 2. So if you're having a savings, if your dad is having a savings account, your dad must provide another statement, bank statement that shows the work that you got the money to make that savings for you. I'm sure I'm clear.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So Jefferson, you can come on board and ask your question.
So my name is Jefferson from Ghana. My question is, I want my cousin to sponsor me, but the only difference is he's using a different surname, and then he has a company in Ghana. So I would like to know if
Jefferson, you like to know what? Where are you?
Yeah, is the question done? Okay, so your dad is having you are having a different surname from your dad's.
yes, please.
No. The cousin. Did you say the cousin or your dad?
So I'm using a different surname compared to my dad and my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Who is sponsoring you?
My cousin. I want my cousin to sponsor me.
What about your dad?
He can't sponsor me.
Okay.
Your dad can't sponsor you, but your cousin can.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please. And he also
Yeah.
has a company. So my cousin has a company. He's the manager of the company.
Yeah, I mean, this situation is very delicate because in this case, you cannot prove the relationship between you and that of your cousin. You understand? In the case that you do not share the same surname. Let me ask you this: What is your surname?
I'm Redu.
You are Redu, and
yes,
your cousin's surname is what?
It's Jakpa.
Okay. What is your father's name?
My dad's name too is Jakpa.
And then your cousin's father's name is
Jakpa.
So you are the only one who is not having the
I'm
surname.
the only one in the family using a different surname.
Yeah, then I think you just show a way you're related to them.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy to prove your relation with your dad, but then I think your cousin is going to be a bit pretty difficult.
Okay. Yes, let's do this. So I hope your father's name is correct.
Yes.
On your birth certificate, right?
Yes.
So what you need to do is that you need to pick up your birth certificate, pick up that of your dad's, and pick up that of your cousin and your uncles. These 3 or 4 birth certificates to link, because normally it is not about the surname, it is about the name on your birth certificate. So if your dad's surname, your cousins, and that of your uncles are the same, you shouldn't have a problem. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't have a problem because it's not about the surname, it is about your father's name, unless you have made a change in your birth certificate to make sure that your dad's surname is the same as that of your uncle, and your your cousins. But yeah, but if it is as it is, then you shouldn't have any problem. In any case, if only they will accept the cousin sponsorship, then you can prove this without worrying to do any DNA test.
Oh, okay. So I'm asking, can I use his personal bank account statement or his company's bank statement?
If you intend to use his companies, you must add his personal bank statement. They need his personal bank statement more than that of the companies.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Paul Batalira.
Yeah, hello.
There.
Yeah, good evening. And thank you for the opportunity. Please, my question has to do with the Uniplaces website. I want to find out, upon reserving, a space or a room for, for the visa for your comment. With regards to the rent contract, I would like to know, will that be issued or will be given on the site, right after the booking? And then also, that is if the system is automatically going to generate the rent contracts right after paying. That is what I want to know.
No, for that of Uniplaces, It depends. After you're done with that of the payment, the contract is not just going to be generated because this is like a legal contract. Okay, so before you make payment, you're going to see that of all the details that you need to know, when a contract will be ready and everything, and when you can make the payment. All this information are on the site, and then depending on which particular rental or property that you're going for. Yes. So for this one, you can find everything on the website. If you have questions, you can send your questions to that of the Uni Places, what's it called? The customer service people at Uni Places, and then they will be willing to assist you on that. But then I think I'll find time and make a video on that to kind of like guide you guys on how to really, really go about it and everything. But in the contract is usually after payment. Yes, but then you should get the guideline around when the contract will be ready, when you're required to actually make the payment and everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I think, a video of that would actually help because
Yeah, I will try and do that.
if one should provide the details, the payment details using the debit card, it wouldn't be deducted right away. But then there will be a time that, that amount will be deducted. If that's what you're
Um,
explaining.
yeah, it would depend, but then I will check that of the guidelines that I saw on the site, and then that of the guidelines as well from Natalie from Uni Places, and I think I included in the next video that I will make on it. But then yeah, there's always a requirement around when you can get the contracts and guidelines around the contracts itself, like the payment, when the payment is required, depending on the particular house, the landlord and everything. And then even that of refunds, you should always see that on the particular property that you want to go for before you make any payment, before you make any commitment. If you have any doubt whatsoever, you can send it to that of my email. And then I'll contact the Uniplaces team. Other than that, you can send an email directly to them. It's on their website. So you ask them, okay, I have doubt about this, I have doubt about that, and everything. Yeah. And they'll be willing to respond to you. The landlord will be able to respond to any doubts that you also have, but then it's managed through the platform.
Oh, okay. So can you share your
Okay.
email in case I would like to?
Yeah, I'll leave it in the chat. Yeah, I'll leave it in the chat. Thank you. So we're going to go to the next person. Gideon, come on and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, Anita. I'm
Good
Gideon from Kenya.
evening.
I'm
Okay.
Gideon from Kenya, and I wanted to ask you about for instance, my uncle is the one who will be sponsoring me, and he
Who?
has sufficient.
Uncle.
My uncle,
Your uncle. Oh, okay. Okay.
my uncle is the one who will be sponsoring me, and he has sufficient fund. And again, from my side, I have some little. So will I provide both statement, or that for my uncle will just be enough? Is there any need for me to provide both of them?
You want to use your uncle and you want to use who? I didn't get the question well.
For the proof of funds.
Uh-huh. Your uncle is sponsoring you, and then what else?
From my side again, I have like 3,000 euros.
I think I saw your message in the chat, and I don't know if I responded or well. In this case, you can see that you have less the amount of 10,100 euros. It's not even up to 5,000. And your uncle is taking the higher percentage. Your chances of getting the visa is very low. You can go ahead and use it, but then to me, your chances are low. And especially your 3,000 that you have, how you got it in the account, and the financial stability of your uncle also counts. So, yeah, to me, you can go ahead, but that is my opinion.
All of them, there is a proof for all of them.
Yeah, it's not about the proof. It's about the financial strength, the financial muscles. You understand? So
Okay.
if you just submit something that shows that your financial situation is weak, then because the first impression is that you are having just 3,000. You are looking at your age, the job that you are saying you are doing. Though age is not a factor, as in someone asked in the chat, is age going sponsorship has something to do with age? No, but you are old enough, you are working, you have 3,000, and your uncle is sponsoring you with, I think, 7,180 plus, which doesn't, to me, it wouldn't make sense. So, yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is, let me see. Abi Boy. And please, if you're done asking your question, lower your hand so that I don't confuse it. Okay, I think DJ, we are done asking your question. Yeah. So Abi Boy.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the opportunity, and good evening once again. I'm from Ghana, and at first I thought I was okay or fine because for me, my situation is very different, and I have a family friend of my dad. I mean, they were childhood friend, and who even convinced my dad to allow me to apply for school in abroad, and I applied in Italy and I had it, and he said he will be co-sponsoring me. But from what Mr. Autry is saying, I mean, it got me a little scared now because he is a family friend and he's a university lecturer, and I mean, we also have a picture of me when I graduated. Like, I have a picture of my family and him also in that picture. So I don't know what to do from now because I don't know. Yeah. So
Wait, go clearly.
yeah.
Your family friend wants to sponsor you.
Yeah.
And that one is not even possible. Audrey,
It's not
what do you have to
possible.
say?
No, it's
Okay.
not possible. It's not
It's
possible.
not possible.
Yeah, it doesn't have,
Oh, okay.
it's not bounded legally to sponsor you. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go through the chat. Before we wrap up, we have some questions there. Jesse Keenan, you have a question, please come on board, ask so that I go through the questions,
All right.
the chats
Yeah,
to
good
ask
evening.
the last question and wrap up. Good
Yeah, good evening.
evening.
Yeah, please, I'm also from Ghana, and my question is, I once came across a video on YouTube concerning the bank statement, and I want to ask whether Italy they follow such. I just want to ask whether the opening balance plays a role in the bank statement. As in, if your opening balance is less, although you have even more than the required amount, by your opening balance at that time you printed your statement, the 6 month, is less, not even 50% of the required amount. Is that a red flag?
I mean, how do you want you to? I shouldn't have even allowed you to land. Let me tell you, you have to be very careful with you trying to hide something in terms of your bank statements. I always say that they just don't look at your bank statement, they read the embassy. I mean, most embassies verify bank statements and they scrutinize it thoroughly. But with this of the Italian embassy, they read through. You go and find them with felt pen and all those stuff, circling each entries and I mean outlet, whatever, in your bank statements. You have an opening balance of, let's say, 20, no, it's too much, let's say 8,000 euros, no, let's say
Mine is
5,000.
20,000.
Okay, let's say I want to say it in euros so that I mean generally everybody understands. You need 10,180 euros as your balance,
Yeah.
and then you are having an amount like 4,000 euros as your opening balance, where they don't see the history before that 4,000 euros is a straightforward denial. You need to show them where you get your monies from. The opening balance is very important. If you had your insurance, some investment or insurance that has matured and you got the money and it's reflecting as such in your bank statement, I mean, having the corresponding source as maybe treasury bill, whatever, I mean, that means that the money is coming from a certain investment that you have done. But when it comes to the point where it is just, I mean, showing up there as your opening balance, you are hiding something from them. And for sure you are going to get your visa denied. So you should not try to hide anything from the Italian embassy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you. We're going to go on. We have some questions here on YouTube. Hello, please. My question is this. My parents are late and my mom's brother has been the one sponsoring me ever since, even down to school. I have currently not working and I'm currently not working and he still intends to sponsor me. He stays and work in the US. Please, how do I proceed with this?
Please come again. I was trying to answer someone. So
Yeah, please, my question is this. The parents are late and then the mom's brother, so the uncle is the one who has been sponsoring her. And then he also intends to sponsor her now as she she'll be studying in Italy. The person lives and works, the person works, in the US. So
the
she's asking how
relationship
she
to
can
the
proceed with
applicant.
this.
Yeah, so the relationship to the
Uncle,
applicant is
the
uncle.
mother's brother.
So yeah, that is what we've been saying. And the worst case scenario is that the person is not even within Italy or in Ghana, it's in the US, which is never going to happen. So for me it's not admissible. The sponsorship is not admissible. It's not going to work. Yeah. If she wants to still continue with it, fine. She can go ahead,
You
prove
can
the
try
ties.
if that's the only
Prove the ties, and let's see what happens.
If that's the only option you have, Laura, you can, add any supporting document that he has been sponsoring you and every picture and everything that shows, and then you put in the application, and then I'm sure you'll be good to go. Then let's see. Tochi is asking, my father is my sponsor.
Hello, please, and I
intend
want to
also
say something
submit.
before you chip in. Yeah, considering the one that said that he lost both parents, I think he can add maybe the death certificate of both parents to show that indeed they have passed away and they are able to come in.
That is good. Yeah, Laura. So since your parents are dead, you can also add the death certificate and show that your uncle has been sponsoring you since then. Then thank you so much, Godwin. Then Tucci is asking, my father is my sponsor. I intend to also submit a property document that has my mom's name on it. Is it okay?
That has the mom's name on it. Property document.
Yeah, so the dad is the sponsor, but then the mom also has like some properties that he will want to add to the application.
Yeah, if either parent wants to sponsor and has the right amounts, from last 2 years coming down, properties do not count. I mean, you don't even need to add anything like my parents have a car, they have a house, they don't, it doesn't count unless maybe they have a house on rent, which falls within the inflow of income that you need to add. Fine, but showing just properties, landed properties, they are not important. They don't consider much. Yeah, it is about the money readily available to sponsor you is what they look at now.
What they look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless the
Thank
person
you.
wants to say that they have that property for the father or the mother, I don't know which is which, is also adding up to, or they would later liquidate it to add up. That one is not, they are not going to look at it at all. No.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Jay's comic, the last question from YouTube, then I look at the chat here before we wrap up. Jay's comic is asking, is 40 million naira enough for proof of funds? I don't know the conversion of 40 million naira. And then it's not about 40 million naira. What's the conversion currently? But then what I would say is you just have to do the conversion. What they need is 10,179 euros. So 40 million naira, it's up to you to do the conversion and find out the current rates and what it will amount to in euros. If it's up to the 10,000, then I think
10,000,
if it's
it
not,
must be that or more.
Yeah, if it's not up to them, it will not be enough. So yeah, so I think there's some questions here in the chat. Okay. From Gideon, I'm not sure if you've answered that. If my uncle is sponsoring me and then he has sufficient funds and then I also have 3,000 euros.
Yeah,
I think
the
you've
person,
answered that, right?
I mean, he came to ask the question. I've answered. I answered most of the questions there. So
okay, perfect. Let's see. From Jefferson, my cousin is the one sponsoring. He has company. Okay, you have answered that. Sorry for okay. Please, okay, no. can my employer sponsor me? I think you've not answered that. Okay, you've answered that. You said no. Yeah, your employer cannot sponsor you. And please, sir, can you share where I can find the requirement for the visa application checklist? You can find it on your embassy website or from
It's on the embassy's
the
website.
what's it called? Yeah, the embassy's website. My uncle is sponsoring me and he's having a different surname from my father. I think you've asked, can I go ahead and use him? Have you answered that? No, I think the uncle
Which
is
one?
sponsoring her, but then it's from Midley. My uncle is sponsoring me and then he's having a different surname for my father. Can I go ahead and use him as my sponsor?
Yeah, I think we answered that. I don't know. I
Okay,
remember we
so
answered something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the
okay.
uncle sponsorship, if your uncle wants to sponsor you, but you don't have the same surname, it doesn't matter. What matters is that your father's name on your birth certificate is how do I say it? I mean, it's same, but then your father, your uncle, also you get their birth certificates because they will have one. If they have even different mothers, they are going to have maybe the same father or something like that. You
Or
need to get
something.
the
Okay.
bank, the birth certificate to show the ties.
Of them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because Gideon is asking, will I need to get personal details of my uncle, like the birth certificate and ID?
Yeah, I mean, if you are any sponsor, if it's your parents or any sponsor that you want to use after the bank statement, you need to get the documents that the person is using in the firm. Like, for instance, if the person is a doctor, you can get the license of the person or any appointment letter, whatever, to add up to the bank statement, and then an ID is very important. An ID is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Daniel is asking my network, okay, during the presentation, could Emmanuel Autry please throw more light on accommodation for us? I think you've already done that accommodation here. So if you're coming from Ghana, we already spoke about other sources that you can use for the requirements for the accommodation. Then Virginia is asking, okay, can I use my husband? You already my husband as my sponsor, you already answered that. My uncle is sponsoring me and then he's having it. Okay, now we've gone through that. Then Ebenezer is asking, I don't know if you've responded. Because the embassy sees this Calabria scholarship as conditional. I think he has a scholarship, right?
Yeah, with the Calabria University, their scholarship is considered as conditional at the embassy. We've had cases before where we didn't know, and most applicants got visa denials because the Calabria scholarship is based on your performance when you start your education. Though when you go immediately you start schooling, the scholarship is triggered. I mean, it's being used, but then if you get to have poor performance, you lose it. So the embassy says that because of that situation, you need to apply just as someone who is not having a scholarship. So you apply with the same amount, with the same amount that you need 10,100 or more. Bank statement proof, anything at all that's just an applicant without a scholarship is applying with you. We also do the same thing. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So we have other questions that we'll answer and then we'll wrap up. From Priscilla, she's asking, can I print my bank statement from February to the next 6 months, or does it always have to start with January? I think you already covered that. From the month you're applying, you go back 6 months.
Yeah.
And then, then Anita is asking, please, do you mean, for example, if I have an opening balance of 23,000 euros and a normal transaction of credit and debit from my monthly salary and normal transaction?
I've answered that question. Let's move on. Yeah.
Okay. Josh is asking, I'm from Sierra Leone. My brother is in the US and has opted to be my sponsor. His bank statements will show historical and traceable and sufficient funds. He works and lives in the US. Okay, He's ready to do sworn affidavit of support, his tax returns and everything. What are the chances of success? He'll be depositing the amount into my personal account.
I think we've gone past that. We've explained it thoroughly into that. I think the sponsor is what the what?
The uncle.
Okay.
My brother. No,
The brother.
it's the brother.
And the
who's in
brother
the
wants to
US.
send the money into his account, and yeah,
Yeah,
so
you'll be depositing
so
the
yes,
money.
if it is accepted only by the embassy, which I do not advise that you do that, because though it's explained, it's said in the circular, but you just use your parents or yourself. But if your brother or your cousin or extended family is sponsoring, you just need the bank statement of that person. If the person wants to send the money to you, it's fine. It's a show of commitment. But then you still need a statement of the person, even the person sends the money into your account. Then the person's job documentations, like appointment letter, an ID of the place that he or she is working, plus the person's maybe passport or national ID will be added. So I mean,
Yeah, thank you. Then Adebo is asking for my visa. I'm using my sister as my sponsor, but she's married and based in the UK. She has a baby recently and had to take time off work, which led to a decrease in her monthly income. So I decided to use her and her husband as my sponsors. They have a joint account where they pool funds, kind of like a savings account. The account is in my sister's name. Please, I need to clarify on how to approach this for my visa application.
the account is in the sister's name. The sister is in UK.
The joint account.
It's a joint account for her and the sister.
And a husband. No.
Okay, the
The
sister and the
husband.
husband.
Yeah, for
It's
I'm using my
critical
sister as my
because
sponsor.
I don't know, because the sister and the husband, they have their own responsibilities and they are using their account. So for them to give you their bank statement bearing their names, and then you're not going to UK, you're coming to Italy, your chances are very low. That is what I would say.
But then
Because
she said, yeah.
yeah, because it must be only a statement in your sister's name. In any way, even if they want to send the money into your account, the impression will be that it's just for the visa application. It is a weak approach. Yeah, because
Approach,
they have
okay.
their responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, please, if you have further questions about visa, you can always send it to Mr. Otri's email. Please, you can leave your
I
email
beg.
here so
I
that
beg. I'm not
it will
using.
worry you to
I'm not leaving
worry
my
you to
email.
remember.
They can just put it on
Leave your email
YouTube.
there.
Probably we can.
You
Yeah,
can
because I already have
leave your email
chunk
here
of
so that they reach
messages that
out to
I
you.
can't respond to.
Yeah, so
No,
I have Rosalind here.
you get the messages. I'll try.
Rosalind
You
is
get it.
asking, how do we get that of the declaration of value? Yeah, you just request for it from the embassy, basically. So Leah is asking, so we need to make the embassy aware we'll also be applying for scholarships, right?
I wanted to
The
come to
regional
that question.
scholarship.
Yes. Now let me be frank with applicants from Ghana. I don't know of Nigeria and Kenya, the others, but the rule is that you need to first get your visa before you even attempt applying for legalization of your income document at the embassy. Do not. Some of you have been asking, oh, Mr. Osher, I want to add my income document to my visa application documents. If they don't remove it from your documents at the VFS or TLS, wherever that you are applying through, and it's being sent, they will not consider it. They will never do it for you. They'll bring your documents back to you if you get a visa, fine. Some people are asking, I mean, there is this particular information around that
Going around.
shooting yourself right in the leg or in the head when you add your income document. That is when you have massaged figures in your income document, which is not corresponding to the income you are sending to the embassy to be granted the visa. For instance, you are sending an income that your family is earning like around 20,000 euros a year, and you are sending that as for your visa proof of funds. But then you send an income which is showing something like 5,000 euros. It doesn't match up. It's a straightforward denial. So if you are sending the income document together with the document for the visa application with the intention that they will legalize for you, they are not going to legalize. Even if they approve your visa, you need to pass through the process of getting appointments before they can do the legalize, because it's a different process altogether. You do not do the two together. You understand? So, yeah, the rule is that you get your visa before you get into applying for any legalization of family income document, purposely for the application of scholarship. regional scholarship.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So I hope you got that. It's a bit critical for us in West Africa. For other places, it's a bit easier. Let me say specifically for Nigeria and Ghana. So you just have to be really careful around this, okay? But then the other people, they get it a bit quite easy with the visa application and getting the document for the scholarship. So Lee, I hope your question has been answered. I have a question from Daniel. Let's say I have applied for the regional scholarship and all my document checks out, including bank statement. Would the embassy check if I've applied for regional scholarship to determine my visa decision?
No. The question of power is so I don't know how to say it, but then no, the embassy do not get to know to check if you've applied for regional scholarship. I mean, it's not a bad thing applying for the regional scholarship. That is why I'm saying that. It's only when you've altered your figures in terms of your family income, which doesn't match your income that you send for the visa application. So no, they do not go and check if, and it has no bearing on the visa outcome. They don't go and say, oh, the person has applied for regional scholarship, so the person is not having money. No, it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Okay, so somebody is asking, please clarify. Also to clarify, please, I thought the update was family members up to the 4th degree were allowed to as sponsors. Yes, that was the requirement form, that of the Ministry of University and Research. But then I did indicate in the videos that I sent out with the fact that you have to check with your local embassy, because this is the requirement from the ministry. Adaptations are to be made at the local embassies. They have full rights within the authority on how they want to adapt it. Okay, so you have to check the specifics from your local embassy. And then if you're using someone in, beyond your parents and everything as for a sponsor, you know what to do. You need to prove more. You need to ensure that you are showing everything, proof of ties and everything. Yeah. So your question about whether that was the update, yes, that was the update. But then the adaptation, you have to follow the adaptation done at your local embassy. That is it. It's the local embassy that issues the visa, not the ministry at the end of the day. Okay. Okay, I think you have answered this. And then I think that is it. How do we get declaration of value? I think book an appointment at the embassy. I think literally that is all that we have here. Thank you guys for coming, for asking your questions and everything. It's been thank you, Simpson. Thank you, Audrey. 3 hours, 10 minutes out here answering your questions and everything. I really want to thank you guys for making time to come on to share with everyone and to answer their questions and everything about regional scholarships in ETN and about the ET study visa application. Emmanuel, your last words, and then we are going to wrap it up for tonight.
Okay, so I would want to say that yes, coming to Italy to study is one of is a dream come true. So you need to make sure that you put in a very good and solid application. There has been some slight changes in the system that we do not know how it's going to fall out. But I will suggest that you keep the faith. And keeping the faith means that you do the right thing and you still keep the faith and pray. Make sure that you use the closest family unit if it is possible. That is your parents. If not, yourself. Other than that, if you don't have that option, then you can go in for the other degrees they are talking about, because what comes May, they are going to look at the close relatives even before they look at the uncle and the auntie sponsorship. Because if they open up like this, then it means that you're going to have a lot of applications, people claiming, making claims, and so on and so forth. It's going to be very difficult for them. So I believe that they will still stick massively to the close relatives, and I think that it is better you go in with that. In any way, Anita is always available to receive your questions, and I'll be available to answer them if she gives me the questions as time goes on. So I wish you all the best in your visa applications. That is all that I can say. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me today. Hello, Anne. Are you speaking? Because we can't hear you. Hello. You are muted. You are muted. You are muted. Okay.
Thank you so much all for joining, for your time and everything. Thank you, Simpson. Thank you, Emmanuel. We are wishing you guys the very best with this application and then that of your application for the regional scholarships. All the best. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. Okay, but all the best. Bye. Bye. Ciao a tutti. Ciao a tutti. Okay. Let's see.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye.